All right, we are live. I wanted to be able to. Shh.
I'm sorry.
I don't know how to see myself live on there. All right, we're live, you guys. Hopefully, I'm live on YouTube. Let's check the old tuberini. Make sure that I'm live. Yeah, it looks like I'm live over there. Check to see if Joyful has requested up yet. No, okay, and let me add myself to my Discord call. Everybody let me know if you can hear me okay as you're joining. And we want to shrink that down. And we're going to shrink this down. Oh, I thought I could see myself on here. Maybe I can see myself on YouTube Live.
How many years?
Hey, Just looking. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Deconstruct with me. How are you guys all doing tonight? Joyful should be joining us in just one moment. Just one more moment. And I think we're good. I just need to bring one more thing up. I'm trying not to look down as much as I know. I rewatched my other video and I was like, I look down a lot. So I'm trying to not do that tonight. I have questions to ask tonight. Oh, and I can't see the chat when I do that. So, yeah. All right. How's everybody? Oh, thanks for all the shares. Thank you so much. Oh, yay. I'm so happy that he sent you all that. Well, I hope you still come up and say hi tonight. I don't know how to share out the live to him, but if somebody can share out the live to Joyful and have him join us, that would be great. Hey, Deal Breaker, how are you doing? Texas, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you all. If you guys could just start doing all the good stuff. I don't know if I set a live goal. I'm going to see if I can do that. It looks like I can. We're going to edit this. Nobody is watching me stream except you. That's weird. Oh, on YouTube. Actually, I'm live on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, so there are people watching me stream. I got my little chats confused there for a minute. But yes, there are other people watching me stream. Let me bring Joyful up and then I'll reset my gift goal here. Can everybody hear me okay and everything? Joyful, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I can hear you too. Loud and clear. I'm going to set a new gift goal and then we'll get started. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, good. Good.
How's your son?
Good. Oh, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah. Recovering nicely?
Yeah, for the most part, I think.
All right. Let's do 2025s and let's
Give me 1 second. Something's wrong with my headphones.
Okay. Why can't I say how many I want? There we go. There's my new gift goal. Dugald, how are you tonight? Crispin, good to see you. EB, good to see you too. Not NS Amity in YouTube, good to see you. Dirtnap, good to see you. Thank you for being here tonight. We're about to ready to do a Q&A with Joyful. I'm not loud enough? Okay, let me know. Am I loud enough now? Can you guys hear me okay? Hi, the life beyond belief. How are you? Am I loud enough for you guys? Can you hear me okay? I turned it up a little bit. Let me check OBS. It was better when I said let me know. I'm going to turn my mic up. Okay, is it better now? I'm good for other people, so that might be you, Midstep. That might be you and not me. Okay. All right. We're good. All right.
Can you hear me fine?
I can hear you fine. Can you guys hear Joyful fine? You won't be able to see him if you're on YouTube or Twitch, but you should be able to hear him just fine. Okay, so here's how Decon Q&A with CrystalJae works. I'm going to start. By the way, you guys, I just want you to know I can't see gifts all the time when you send them to me, but I really appreciate it. I love you guys and appreciate it when you send the gifts. It does help boost us out into the algorithm, as you know. So, and make sure you also take care of Joyful. I'm going to start. I ask you a few questions. And then if we have some people in the guest box that want to come up, they can ask you questions. But I also have a fun game to play with you tonight called Divine or Decline. So, oh, hey, Quill. Thanks for joining us. So, Divine or Decline works like this. I'm going to read you a verse. And if it's from the Bible, you tell me that it's divine. And if it is not, then you decline. Okay? So, we're going to start, though, with my questions. Okay, are you ready, Joyful? These are hard-hitting questions.
I am ready, I think.
Okay.
My heart's racing.
I know. It's going to be painful, but it's important. If you could time travel to any historical event just to witness it, where would you go?
Interesting. Give me 1 second. The train's going by.
Okay. Somebody's pulling a train on Joyful right now, so give him just a second, okay, you guys? Thank you so much for all the likes, the gifts, and the shares. I really appreciate you guys. And make sure you keep doing all that good stuff. If you are on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, please subscribe and comment if you can. Really appreciate it.
I think my thing would probably be, because I'm really into like history, like ancient history. Mm-hmm. So my thing would probably be going back to when they built the pyramids to see how exactly that all went down.
Oh, that's a really good one. I didn't even think about that. That would be really cool to go see. If I had to go travel to a historical event. A historical event. I don't even know where I would go. Let me think. Where would you guys go in chat on YouTube? Where would you guys go if I went to a historical event? I don't know. Like that is a good question. I should have thought of an answer before I asked you it. I don't know. I really don't know where I would go. The pyramids sound good. I didn't think of that, but I'm stealing your answer because it's pretty darn good, actually. I want to know how they did that. That would be pretty interesting. Actually, no. I'll move forward in time. I would like to go and just hang out at some point in time when Cleopatra is ruling over Egypt. I want to be somewhere around there. So yeah, I'd like to meet her. I'd like to talk to her if I could. Okay, what's one piece of media, book, movie, show, or game that had a big impact on you? Oh my gosh, I've already have I already met my goal?
That's a good question. A big impact on me, probably. I can't remember the name of it. Give me 1 second.
Okay, reset my goal. Oh, the first question I asked, chat is asking, I said, if you could time travel to any historical event just to witness it, where would you go? He picked the pyramids, when they were building the pyramids, and I want to go meet Cleopatra. Okay, go ahead, Joyful. Your second question is the media question.
It's actually a movie I just watched not that long ago, but I don't know if any of you have seen it, The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
No, but I know what you're talking about.
It is a very good movie, especially for somebody that was abused as a child in that facet. It gave me some clarity that, like, they wrote a movie that hit so close to home that I wasn't alone, because they actually made a movie about it, and the person exhibited a lot of the same characteristics and issues that I have. So it was just really good. That I would say that would be it.
Oh, that's a really good answer. I'm gonna have to watch that now because I have not watched it, and I actually have wanted to. I don't know why I've never gotten around to it. For me, it would be the cross and the switchblades, because that's what made me love Jesus so much. No, I'm just kidding. It was very powerful to me back in the day.
It was.
I really wanted to go to like New York and save gang members and make them come to Jesus, you know.
I used to listen to that pastor all the time too.
Yeah, me too.
Wilkinson.
Chuck, yeah, right. It was Chuck, right?
I don't know what his first name is. His last name's Wilkinson.
Yeah. Yep. I loved
Wilkerson.
him. I really did.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't have answers for these questions, and I should have come up with them because, they're good questions. But I think that if I had to come up with something, now and not back when I was a Christian, it would be like something like I have really enjoyed lately reading. Oh, you know what? I like the books by Francesca with the long name that I can't say. No, it's that really long name that I can't say. She writes like biblical, like historical books and stuff, but I can't think of her full name, and I can't think of, like, she writes about gods, and I can't think of her full name right now. But anyway, it's her. That's what it is. That's the best I could do for you because I can't say her name. Yes, see, Rabbi Hannah put it, Stravakopulu. Her stuff is good.
Stravakopulu?
Yeah, I'm listening to one of her audiobooks right now. So yeah, it's her. Okay, if you had to be locked in a room with one religious figure, past or present, for an hour, who would it be and what would you ask them?
Religious figure. Does it have to be like a real historical? Like, could it be somebody now that's like pretty prominent in religion?
Yeah, it could be past or present.
It would be Francis Chan.
Okay, and why?
If you know. Because I would like to ask him why he hasn't deconstructed yet, because like so much of his ministry that led me kind of out of the church was a lot of his preaching.
Oh, wow.
Because he literally got up, he had a mega church, and he got up and he just left one week because he said this isn't how church is supposed to be. So he just like disappeared for a while, went and studied the Bible, came back, started a different church. But like his whole thing is like reading the Bible for what it says, and America doesn't do church right, and all these things, which I agree with. But when you're that in depth in the Bible, I don't know how you still come to the conclusion that your religion is right. So I would really like to get into a conversation like that with him.
Oh, that's good. I really like that.
Even though he's a very prominent preacher, he played a big part in my deconstruction.
That's really good. Do we really only? Oh wait, okay. I feel like we're being throttled tonight, but what can I do? You know, I think if I had to talk to, I think it would be, gosh. There's so many religious figures actually that I would like to talk to, but it's from all different religions. Like maybe the first Buddha. Like maybe I would talk to him. I don't know. Or Simon Bar Kokhba would be good too. Like that would be a really interesting person to talk to about the revolts and everything. Like I don't know. There's just too many. Like one of the apostles. I would want but I don't believe that all their shit happened. So I don't know if I would talk to them. But John the Baptist was real, so it would be kind of fun to talk to him. I don't know. I think it would be like one of the first Buddhas, to be honest with you. Okay. What's your absolute favorite comfort food? And is there a story behind why?
My favorite comfort food. Trying to think of a comfort food. I guess Popeyes, somebody said. No, I would say that probably my biggest comfort food would probably be like fried chicken and mashed potatoes, just because it reminds me of being at home.
That's
with
yummy.
Mom and everything, cooking. Yeah.
Does a comfort food have to be like a meal? Can it just be a thing, like a snack? Can a snack be a comfort food?
I would say like ice cream would be a comfort food for some people.
Oh, I do like, you know what, Foxfire? I love bread pudding from the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas. And I might be going to Vegas in April and meeting Benny and Seth there. And if so, I'm going to make them go to the Golden Nugget and eat the bread pudding. I make everybody do that when we go to Vegas. But my favorite food in the whole world, and forever will be my favorite food in the whole world, are just cookies. I freaking love cookies. I love all kinds of cookies. And if we could make like nutritional cookies that gave you what you need, I would just eat cookies. Like that. That would be my life. So it's at the Golden Nugget by what's the street? Fremont Street. So go there for bread pudding. You have to eat their buffet to get it, because it's at their buffet. And their buffet is it's not the greatest buffet, but it's a good buffet, and it's a decent value. But the bread pudding is delicious. Okay. If you could instantly master any skill, what would it be?
Interesting.
Listen, YouTube says I'm grilling you, like I'm cooking you, Joyful. Okay, Quill said
I feel like you're putting me on the spot a lot. I'm not liking it. I would say cooking.
Oh, yeah, that would be good. That would be a really good one to master.
It's my favorite. It's like my peaceful time. Like, I just find it soothing to cook. So, I would say that would be.
I would want to master being in Cirque du Soleil. No, I'm just kidding. That would be the thing. I want to learn how to do all the tricks like they do on the wires and stuff. No, I think if I could master one skill, like, why did I come up with these questions? Why did I do this to us? What the hell? What was wrong with me? I don't know. I like cooking. That would be a good, I mean, I actually don't love cooking. I mean, but if I was if I could chop and dice like a chef can, I would probably enjoy cooking more. So it would be learning how to do the chopping and dicing and stuff like a chef. Because I'm good at all the rest. Like, I can do the recipes, I can cook, but I don't know how to use a knife, basically. No knife skills whatsoever. Okay. What's the weirdest or most unexpected question or message you have ever received from somebody, like, when, you know, from going live, like from a Christian or whatever, when you're going live?
I think, so, like, what was the most, like, awkward? Is that what you're asking?
It could be awkward, it's whatever, like one that sticks with you.
Some kid named Noah asked me why I do a live with my wife, talking about talking about being gay.
That's hilarious.
I think that was probably the, like, weirdest DM I ever got, and, like, I explained, like, Crystal's not my wife, and but I do have a wife. But yeah, that's what I was asked. So I'd say that was probably the weirdest
that
I got.
funny.
And that was more interesting to me than, like, the nonsense ones I get all the time.
I have been asked if I'm your mother, and I have told them no, but I would be honored if I was. So, like, if you're trying to insult me, not working. Yeah, I am a nice lady, though. It says so in my bio. I don't remember, like, really any specific weird questions or weird DMs or awkward ones. I mean, I'm sure I've had them, but I don't specifically remember. I have a kitty trying to climb my chair right now.
I would like to add one thing to my answer. I do have one specific person that sends me a bunch. Jason.
Yes.
He'll send me books in my DMs after lives about what he found on ChatGPT about what we were talking about, and, like, I always just, like, heart them or whatever. I never have sat and read one.
I literally,
almost every live.
I could pull up a email from him right now. I'm not even joking. And I'll just read to you what the heck? I just want my inbox. Where am I? What the? I could if my stupid thing wasn't, like, it didn't take me to the bottom of my email for some reason. He sends me emails too. He does that on a very regular basis. But yeah. So I don't remember a specific awkward question per se. I've had lots of awkward moments, like, you know, like when people have asked me if I was your mom. But that's about it. I don't remember anything specific. I had very nice ones, though. I've had wonderful ones where people were like, thank you so much for what you guys are doing. It's helped me so much in my deconstruction. One particular person, she's a big part of our Discord. She kept going, like, she couldn't get over the Matthew thing that you go over, you know, where you're talking about, why did this change now to, oh, okay, there we go. When you talk about Jesus lying, you know, and she was like, I couldn't get over him talking to his disciples and saying, like, you know, before any of you pass away, you know, I will come back or whatever. And so one night we had talked about it on our live, and that night she kind of went to bed just like really a little confused about it all, not sitting well with her really. And then when she woke up in the morning, it just like clicked for her, you know, and she messaged me right away and was like, you guys have helped me so much with this. This has been a hurdle for me. So I have had that, and that's really awesome. Okay. If you had to pick a song that best represents your current vibe, what would it be?
I would say probably Born Again by Black Atheist Reigns.
Oh, he has songs, huh?
He's on Spotify. Yeah, he has albums.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, he raps. And then he's on YouTube. I think his brother is who raps with him on YouTube, and they have some music. So yeah, Black Atheist Reigns, Born Again would probably be like one that I constantly go to. That I think that would be a split between that and Running by NF.
Okay, those are good songs. Mine would be WAP. No, I'm just.
You should start every live, Crystal. Be blasting it.
No,
that would get him in there.
No, actually, I have been listening to Pinkbeard, and I can't wait for his country album to come out. And you know, like I told him that my husband keeps saying that why do you keep saying that you're from Birmingham and that you don't like avocados? What are you talking about? You know, so I have been listening to a lot of Pinkbeard's country lately, so I can't wait for that album to drop.
Oh, for sure.
So I don't have a specific song per se, because I listened to all of that. But anyway, what's a completely useless fact you love sharing with people? Useless fact. Mm-hmm.
A useless fact that I like sharing.
Yeah, it has useless.
That I like sharing with people.
Maybe you don't like sharing it. Maybe you like to keep it a secret. I don't know. What's it?
I just don't. I'm trying to think of a useless fact. I know a lot of like. Alright, so here's one that comes from my work that none of you will care about. So, like, Portland that's in cement is made from limestone, but also you have to add crushed lime to Portland to make mortar for bricks.
Oh, huh. I did not know about that, and that is very useless. Thank you for sharing that. It
is very useless, but I know that.
All right, here's my useless fact for you. That eBay has an AI that they have used for a while now to help improve people's search when they're searching eBay. And even eBay doesn't know how it works anymore. Like, they don't do it anymore. It's learned by itself, and they don't know how it works.
Nice. I didn't know that.
If you were designing your own cult for fun, obviously, what would be its most ridiculous rule? eBay with CrystalJae.
The most ridiculous rule. Ooh, interesting. I can think of a lot of ridiculous rules. Give me a second.
Okay.
Maybe you go first.
Okay.
You go first.
I know for a fact that since I'm going to be the cult leader, right? Because it's like my cult. that everybody would have to bring me cookies while singing WAP. No, I don't know.
Nice.
I would just make cookies.
Nice.
Like that would be our main our main food would be cookies.
If I was to join a man, that's hard. Well, in the building, you can't make eye contact.
Oh,
Like, it's a sin to make eye
That
contact
would be
with somebody
good.
when in the place of worship.
keep your eyes down. Don't look each
Yep.
other in the eye. If you could have a 30-second Super Bowl commercial to send a message to the world, what would it be?
It would probably be like one of those public service announcements just about Jesus being fake.
Yeah, mine would be too. Mine would say something like, Jesus is a liar and a donkey thief.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys.
Hangs out with little naked boys.
In a garden. Hey, you guys, if you'd like to come up and ask Joyful a question, just go ahead. The guest box is open. And if you want to play Divine or Decline with Joyful, you know, be our first guest. Come on up and we'll play Divine or Decline. I see Nick, I see Liz, I see Carrie, Deconstruct with me. Come on up, you guys. Don't be afraid. Joyful and Item. And you guys like to come up when we're live, so come up. We are live. Let's do this thing. Ghost of Christian Past is here. Somebody jump in the box. Deconstruct with me is coming on up. Hey, Deconstruct with me, how are you?
Hey, Crystal, I'm doing good. Good to see you again.
Good to see
As
you,
always.
too. Did you have a question for Joyful, or do you want to play the game with us? Or both?
Ooh, both?
All right. Do you want to play the game first, or do you want to ask the question first?
Let's play the game first.
Okay. All right. So here's how the rules work. I'm gonna read you guys something, and if it is from the Bible, you guys vote, talk to each other, and say divine. If it is not from the Bible, then you say decline. You guys can play along in the chat and on YouTube and Twitch. And here we go. For the love of gold is the foundation of all who have wandered, and they shall seek but not find.
Decline.
I say decline.
That's correct. It is not. It's a misquote of 1 Timothy 6:10. Okay, the sun stood still in the midst of heaven and hasted not to go down about a whole day.
That's
Divine.
divine.
Do you both agree?
Yeah, divine.
Okay,
Yep.
yes, it is. That's Joshua 10:13. Wow, these guys are good. These guys are good. How are you guys doing at home so far? As the deer pants for the water, so my soul longs for the wisdom of the Lord and his prophets.
Divine.
Divine, unless you changed it at the end. I'm going to go divine.
It's actually declined. It's partially similar to Psalm 42:1, but altered with wisdom and
Dang
prophets.
I knew it didn't sound
Yeah.
right. I listened to Joyful. Dadgummit.
Yeah, you don't want to listen to me. If it sounds close enough, I'm down.
And it shall come to pass that the lion will lie down with the lamb, and a child shall lead them.
And a child shall lead them?
Yeah, child shall lead them.
I don't remember that.
Dang, Crystal. Decline.
Decline.
It is declined,
it.
but it's not because of the child. It's because it's not a lion, it's a wolf. The reason people think it's a lion is because of an Elvis Presley song from the 50s where he says that. Instead of a wolf, he says lion.
That's a good useless fact.
Yeah, that was a good. I should have used that one earlier, but then it would have given away the question. So, okay, there is no compulsion in religion, for truth stands out clear from error.
Decline.
Can you read it one more time?
Yeah, there is no compulsion in religion, for truth stands out clear from error.
Decline.
That is,
I agree.
That's correct. That is from the Quran, Surah 256. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision.
I've never heard it.
No, that does not sound. No. Read it one more time.
That sounds more correct.
Yeah, I'm thinking Quran on that, but
He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision.
yeah, decline.
Okay, that is divine. That is from Psalm 2:4.
Oh, joyful. We don't know our Bible. Dang it.
No, we don't.
You're heathens, it's okay.
I don't know it as well as I thought.
Whosoever shall add to these words, let them be cursed with a curse until the end of days.
Well, that's divine.
Divine.
It's decline. It sounds like Revelation 22,
What?
18 and 19, but it's not a direct quote. It's just a paraphrase of that. The people.
I knew that. I just wanted to influence Joyful to get one wrong.
Okay, the people draw near to me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me.
That is divine.
That is divine.
Yes, it is divine, and that can be found in Isaiah 29:13, and it's also quoted in Matthew 15:8. And behold, I saw a great multitude clothed in white robes, who had come out of the great tribulation.
Divine.
Divine.
That is divine. That's Revelation 7:9 and 7:14. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we shall be judged.
No,
Decline.
decline.
That's decline. Very good. You guys, what was the score? How did you guys do at home? Did you have fun? Make sure that if you want to come up, go ahead and request up in the box. Deconstruct with me. It's all yours. What's your question?
Yeah. Hey,
Hi.
Joyful. It's nice to finally talk to you.
Yeah. How are you?
First, I'm doing great. First, I just want to thank you for what you do, because you helped me through my deconstruction. You were one of the first creators I found. And Monday, somebody in your chat was asking, why do you do these debates if nobody ever changes their mind? But what you're doing is you're helping people that are going through deconstruction. And it means a lot. So I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate this community, especially Crystal, because through you, I've met so many wonderful people on here. So,
I'm glad.
But my question is for you two: how did you guys meet, and how did you become host and co-host?
I met Crystal through her coming to my lives, to be honest. I had no clue outside of that I didn't know she made content or anything like that. But she was always I made her a mod. I think she asked to be a mod at one point, because I had no mods in my chat. And I made her a mod, and then I don't know. She was always there, and she was always making sure that everything was going so. I originally had a different co-host, Jess, Spicy Jess, when I first started going live, and she didn't like how stressful it was doing it so frequently. And then I asked Crystal, and that's kind of just how it all went down.
Okay, here's my side of the story, because this is how it went for me. So I meet Hanji and Justin, right? And I'm watching them for a while or whatever. And then I had been watching Joyful and Skits. So I was watching Justin, Joyful, and Skits. And then I met Solovino. I don't know if you guys know Solovino, but Solovino's a really cool guy. what? If you just requested up, I accidentally declined you. Request again. I didn't mean to do that. Unless you're still in the waiting box, which is fine. We sometimes have a little lag on TikTok. I want to apologize for that. It is because of TikTok Studio. There's nothing I can do about it because I have no lag on YouTube or Twitch, okay? Anyway, so I meet them and I'm in Joyful's chat, and Solovino had made me a mod. And I mean, like, I'm really new to the community, very new to this community. And I was like, oh my God, somebody made me a mod. You know? And so
maybe that's what it was, solo ass.
And so then Joyful made me a mod in his live too, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, now I'm a mod there too, you know. And but then one day I'm modding his chat, and all of a sudden I get a request to come up. And I have never been on a panel before or anything. Like, I hadn't done anything like that before, and I was like, oh my God, honey, this creator is asking me to come up. This is wild. So I accepted. Yeah, you know what you did, Solovino. And so I was like, okay, you know. So I went up, and then he was like, can you just wait here for a minute? And I'm like, yeah. So he was talking to somebody. He finished up, and then he said, and I thought this was cute and sweet. He said, so I was just wondering if you would be like my Hanji and be my, like, super mod up here. And I was like, aw, I would so love that.
Gosh.
That's cool. So then I started modding for him and being his co-host. And yeah, and then eventually I started making my own content. But I would never have made content if it wasn't for Joyful. So.
Very cool. And Crystal, you were the first panel I went on.
Oh, that's cool. Isn't it, like,
Yep.
kind of cool you remember, like, that's the first person?
I remember my first.
Yeah.
I remember mine too. It was Justin.
Aw, we're all breaking each other's cherries in this
man.
great community.
But Joyful, you were my third deconstruction channel to follow. It wasn't Justin, Skits, and you.
I did not call him a
Right on.
Malakas, but I can do it tonight if you want. You
I was-
Malakas.
Really, it took quite a while for me and Skits. I don't know what it was. I was very, like, because I was new in my deconstruction as far as, like, I knew I didn't believe for, like, a year or so, but I had no, like, support in it or anything, and life was just kind of, like, in shambles altogether at that point in time. Like, my mental health had declined a lot, and I didn't really have support. So, like, I came to TikTok, and I found Justin, and I started watching his lives, and this was back when he had 20, 30 people some days, you know what I mean? And as soon as I hit, because used to you had to have 200 followers to be a guest, and as soon as I hit 200, I went up to ask Justin some questions. And, like, from there, like, he had me up a few times to, like, debate with, like, alongside of him, and he would, like, do things like that. But Skits, like, I would see him, but Skits didn't really talk about the Bible so much. Like, then it was more, like, logical and, like, just talking about, like, bullet points, but he didn't, like, get in depth in scripture, and that was, like, what I was into. But then the more I listened to Skits, and, like, Skits is just an awesome dude. Like, once you, like, get to know him, he is just a great dude. And he is an awesome person.
He is an awesome person.
Yeah.
I love Skits.
Very cool. Yeah, deconstructing is lonely. I've never really
It is.
fit in, and my whole life for 20 years was in ministry surrounded by Christians. When I deconstructed, I felt like I had nothing and no one, and then I found this community here, and I just love it.
That's the way
Yeah,
I
and
thought.
it's
Go ahead, John.
yeah. I mean, my best friends were all were my brothers. All of them are Christian. We grew up homeschooled. We weren't allowed to, like, stay the night at friends' houses, things like that. Like, it was very, like, our siblings were our friends. You know what I mean? That's who we knew. And so when I got older, they remained, like, my best friends. But then, like, when I deconstructed, everything, like, kind of came to a halt with all my friendships. It just stopped. They were gone. Some of them I helped plant churches with. Like, my parents, like, the relationship with my parents, like, not gone, but there's definitely not, it's just not the same anymore.
No,
it's definitely different, and that's why I created this channel, just because I know how lonely it can be, and if I can help somebody going through it, I don't know.
it is.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm sure you have somebody else in the box.
No, I actually don't.
Oh, you don't?
Wait.
Okay.
If you requested up earlier, you can request up again. So it does it kind of different on the TikTok studio. So instead of you having like people sit in the box, like it'll come up and tell you that they're requesting and you have to accept. But it also says or wait, and when I did that, it like basically kicked them out of the box, and I didn't mean to do that. So if you want to come up, you guys, the guest box is open. Come up, ask Joyful all your wonderful questions, whether it's biblical, just that we ask that you don't get too personal. Obviously, we're not trying to dox anybody or make them feel uncomfortable during these Q&As. But yeah, feel free to request on up. But go ahead, keep chatting, and if somebody else comes up, I'll just bring them up. Oh, Liz is here now.
I would love to hear your deconstruction story. I know some of them can be kind of long. I know mine's long. So.
Well, I can give a pretty good summation at this point. So, I had just helped plant a church. I was watching a lot of Francis Chan, if you know who that is. And so we started, like, having some conflicts between me and some of the other leadership because, like, I was like, Francis Chan's right. We're not doing this right. We're setting up a church that's not biblical and all these things. And, like, I was, like, super into him, and, like, so there was a lot of conflict there. So I, like, separated from that church. It was one that I had helped my brother and another lead pastor in starting. And so we kind of just split ways. And, like, I went on, and, like, I was doing house church thing, and so I started to, like, read scripture and, like, write down. I had notebooks of things I wrote about, like, what does the Bible describe a church as? What does the Bible describe a Christian as? What should a Christian look like? And the more that I looked at the description of Christian in the Bible, the more I was like, not a fucking person looks like this. Not me, not anybody else. If these are, like, the signs of fruit, nobody is doing it.
Yeah, that was the beginning of mine, too.
And then my wife had deconstructed before, while still in the midst of another church plant. My wife had deconstructed, and, like, I'm, like, still very much, this is probably, like, 5 years ago all this starts happening. So it took me, like, 3 years of this struggle with me and my wife, like, having these same kind of arguments I have with people on here, and going back to the Bible and, like, frantically trying to find the answers and praying and praying and praying, and not, like, prayers never being answered was another big thing. Like, I was a Calvinist, so I believed that God chose us, that we're going to be his. And then I'm like, why would you choose me, but then is going to send my wife to hell? Like, why wouldn't you choose her too? Like, there was so many questions that couldn't be answered. And then, after just, like, trying to find answers, it slowly made me realize that there aren't answers. There's just not answers in the book.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of where it lied. And for a while there, I became just, like, straight agnostic. Like, I read the Tao, and I did some reading in Hinduism and the Quran. I read the Quran, and I was just trying to find, because I still had that feeling of, without God, there is no morals. like this argument they're always using, like, how do you ground your morals? Like, I thought, because I grew up thinking I'm an evil person, that's like something I'm still deconstructing in therapy, is this idea that I'm just a bad person and I'm always going to be a bad person and I can never be this good person I want to be. And so, like, I have that mentality, and I'm like, without God, what I'm going to be the most worst. I'm just going to be like complete garbage. I'm going to be a garbage person without God. So I tried to cling to the idea of God for a long time and trying to find one that fit, and none of them did. None of them. Once I left Christianity, it just seemed like they all had the same holes. They all had the same problems.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, give me one chance to do a real quick commercial, and then we're going to see if Liz or Tahir would like to ask a question. You guys, thank you so much for all the likes, the shares, the follows. I really appreciate it. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please think of doing so today. It's less than a cup of coffee a month. And you know what I'm about to tell you, don't you? You are subscribed to Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, and the Peacock channel, and you're not watching any of them because you're here on TikTok 24/7 because I see you here, because I'm here. So why don't you cancel some of those, save yourself some money, and then come subscribe to small creators like myself, like Joyful, like Deconstruct with me, like all your favorite creators. Subscribe to us because we give you more bang for your buck, let's face it. Also, I have a new gift goal. It's the coins. They're 5 coins each, so if you have coins, if you could send those up, that would be great. Don't forget to send the heart me's and the team bracelets because those help push us out into the FYP. And don't forget to gift my esteemed guest tonight, Joyful Apostate. Liz, did you have something you wanted to ask him?
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
I have kind of a two-part question. My first one is, what is your favorite topic to debate?
My favorite topic to debate would be it's hard because my favorite one to do nobody wants to watch. I like doing the more philosophical debates with people, but I think as far as a live is concerned, when I'm on and am in the mood to like cook a Christian, it's going to be Jesus was a liar every time.
That's
okay. Okay, so then if you are on somebody else's live just watching, what is your favorite topic to watch somebody else debate?
Very not popular position, Phil Bros.
Yeah.
That is really interesting. I don't know that, like, I don't know that I ever saw you as one of those that actually enjoy that topic, but I get what you mean. It's not fun to like watch for most people, so it probably doesn't come up, very much.
I think the thing is like, I never was into philosophy before, and it's just kind of new and intriguing to me right now, and it will probably become bland and not so interesting, but I'm just now like getting into reading some philosophy and things like that, so it's just new and exciting, I think, is the appeal right now.
It is really interesting. Like, I used to go on Breezy's lives, and he would always have a lot of Phil Bros in there, and I did learn a lot about the different arguments and terminology and so forth, so it is kind of interesting to listen to. I hate debating them though, because it just can become, usually because the Phil Bros who come up are like little baby Phil Bros. They don't even know what they're doing yet, and then it can be so annoying and circular really quick. But listening to real Phil Bros talk is pretty interesting. I want to address something in YouTube real quick, and then we'll get back to you, Joyful. Nick, I am trying to make it so you can see the guests, but I'm also a little OBS illiterate, and I need Benny's help, and so I haven't set it up yet, but we're going to work on that so that you can see the guests on YouTube and Twitch, maybe by Friday when I talk with Cyber. Okay, sorry.
See, like, a person I would like to talk to would be like Divine Order, or even like I don't think Vor is even VOR or whatever you want to call him is even good at the Filbro arguments. Like, I think that they're all just circular and repetitive, and you never get anywhere. But there are people like Divine Order that have some substance to what they say. I still think that it's nonsense, but I think you can actually have a conversation that's not just a circular Filbro bullshit talking points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
No, I've noticed that, like, I would agree, like, most, are just insufferable. But Divine is probably the only one that I've seen, at least lately, that has, like, there's some substance behind it.
Yeah, the only reason I wouldn't platform Divine Order just because, like, how ignorant he is on the pro-life subject, and just, like, I feel like he's just way out of line with the way he conducts himself when it comes to that.
Let me answer another question in YouTube real quick, if you don't mind. If you're on YouTube or Twitch and you'd like to call in and ask a question to Joyful Apostate, there is a tiny URL listed in the description of the video. Usually I have it pinned, but if Quill could do that for me, go and copy and paste it from the description into the YouTube and pin it, that would be great. But I kind of can't do it right now, so I won't be able to help with that. I think Benny usually does it for me, to be honest. But yeah, that's how you do it. I have to prove that I am live right now on TikTok because they think that I'm not doing anything. So, okay. All right. Sorry. Go ahead and get back with it.
Crystal, real quick. I'm going to drop down, but thanks for having me up. Joyful, thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Well,
thank you for being there. I appreciate it.
We really appreciate
you guys later.
Big W in the chat for love you too.
Love you.
Big W's in the chat for Deconstruct with me. And if you're not following him, you should. He does go live, and he's an amazing member of the community. So yeah, if you are on our Discord and you know our Discord, it's easy to call in too because you just scroll down to Crystal's voice channel and you just join the voice channel, and then you can ask a question. So, here's Nick now. So, Tahir, did you have something you wanted to ask Joyful?
Yeah. So, but I did want to say, like, thank you, Crystal, because it is kind of nice to be able to see, like, Joyful, like, to hear your story. It's nice because we see such a goofy side of you a lot of the time, and we see you, trolling and doing your thing, but I haven't been around enough, I guess, to see that there's like a more sincere side of you, and it was kind of nice. I wasn't expecting it, but the trolling is the question that I have. I was wondering, first of all, where do you get the material for when you're pastor? And then, like, is there a person that you're basing it off of, or like where does it come from? Because the stuff that you just come with off the dome is so funny.
All right, so basically, I was brought up in the Southern Baptist world, so, like, it's kind of based off, like, a Southern pastor, like, that is so removed from reality and, like, modern norms is kind of what I'm going for, because, like, a lot of things I think back on in, like, when we'd go to conferences for the Southern Baptists, like, they would say crazy shit, like out and out racist stuff, just blatant. And now thinking back on how, and they talk about having non-hetero barbecues, and this was in youth stuff, like for us youth kids. So it's kind of like that mixed with like, of course, just, like, crazy Bible stories I know, and things that were said, like playing with snakes. Like, it's just random nonsense.
He wanted us to play with our snakes, he said. I was laughing so hard. I really was. I was cackling, but It's
Well, yeah.
funny. It's great content.
It me and Joel riffed off each other very well too. He's kind of helped me build a lot of it. Like a lot of it kind of like the first times we did it were not like my stories were not as fluent. Like it was very choppy because I'm thinking of this on the fly.
Yeah, he's good at improv. That's what it is.
I have so much fun when Joyful, Joel, and I are doing I Am His Pastor. I laugh so hard, and it just cracks me up. And I've told people this a few times too. There's been a couple of times where Joel and I will break character, and people still don't get it in chat. Like one time, I accidentally called him Joe, and you know I was like, "Well, I just don't know about that, Joe." And then I said, "Why did I call you Joe?" Like I just dropped the accent completely, and Joel goes, "I have no idea." And he dropped his accent too. And then we went right back into it. And people were still in the comments going, "Oh my God, you people are horrible." You know, and I was like, I love how upset we get atheists, because I'm like, it's almost kind of sad that they believe we're real.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was the shocking part, is like when the atheists were like really confused. I mean, even just up the one that Joyful posted recently, I mean, even up to the second before he ended that live, they were still not sure. They're like, is this satire?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous content, and I wanted to compliment you. And
I wouldn't have told them yes in front of everybody that it's satire if I wasn't like I had to go, like something came up. And I was like, you know what, I'm not going to try to play this off anymore. Yeah, this is satire, but have a good night, because I just had to get out of there. I could have just ended the live, which I thought about doing, is just ending it without saying anything. But, yeah, I enjoy doing that. The problem is, like, taking time away from my family to do lives. I want it to have more substance, so, like, my main channel is my priority. But if I was just, like, able to do a live for fun, it would be I Am His Pastor every time. My very first live was a pro-Trump, like, thing. And it had Trump in the background. And it said, Jesus and Trump, God's chosen people. Oh my God. Was my very first live as I Am His Pastor. And I only had, like, 5 or 6 people in there. But they were so mad.
Hey, give me 1 second. I want to read something to you from chat. But hey, you guys, we're in a subby wave right now. We have 2 out of 5. So if you haven't subscribed, and you could do so in the next 8 minutes, it's just $2.99 a month. And I give you great content. I'm bringing all the heavy hitters up here for Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. Friday night we have cyber deconstruction, and in March I have people lined up like Justin. I have Joel Mezzo, Thinker, Christina Carroll, El Oso, Dugald. I haven't even gotten to everybody yet, and if you want to be on the show, message me, because I would love to have you on the show. We're even going to do a couple special nights where we do people who are just panelists usually, so you can come up and ask your favorite panelist questions. And we're going to do a mod night where we have some of your favorite mods on, and you can come up and ask them questions as well. So make sure that you subscribe to me if you haven't. We have 7 minutes to get 3 more subscriptions, so if you could do that, I appreciate it. Beardsley wants me to, doesn't want me to. He said in chat, remember when you got that preacher to read Deuteronomy and call it beautiful? Do you remember that, Joyful?
I do. That was there is, like, things just don't even blow my mind anymore. And like back to skits for a second. Like, skits, like, takes this stuff in and internalizes it. And me, like, it does weigh on me, but it's not like the fact that they said the gross shit. It's just the fact of knowing that how fucked the world is, and like this feeling of defeat in the world in general. It's just like this feeling of defeat, not so much the grossness because it just doesn't surprise me. I said those things. Like, I was that convinced to say those same nasty things at one point.
I will tell you, when we were doing I Am His Pastor, this sometimes, just so you guys know, it feels icky when you get done with I Am His Pastor and you realize how much you convinced people, okay? And I think one of the worst nights, it was Joel was on, Joyful was on, and I was on, and we were talking about slavery in the Bible. And I said, isn't it just wonderful that they got to be slaves for God's chosen people, because they would not even have been able to come to God had they not become the Israelite slaves. So it was like God was doing them a favor. You know what I'm saying? And I really had to take a shower after that one, because Christians loved what I said and the atheists were like throwing tomatoes at the screen. But I thought, that's horrible that people thought that was real.
But that's what they, like, we're just exaggerating the real shit they say.
I know.
That's all we're doing, is just exaggerating it.
Yeah, it gets depressing
Sometimes
though
it's
sometimes.
really an exaggeration, though.
Yeah, there have been lives that I've been in that were no different. Like, I have a video on my account, on my main account, of a live that was no different than an I Am His Pastor live, but it was 100% legitimate.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Liz, Tahir, Nick, and Shelly, do any of you, like there's only two of you, any of you have a question you want to ask?
I do. I'll just ask my couple more questions and then I'll jump off. So I was going to say, don't tell them that it's satire, make them want more. But then I totally get what you're saying about the whole, it's kind of yucky thing. I totally get that. But I guess back to the whole skits thing, like, are you a little bit concerned that it's going to get you banned, or you just kind of don't care? Because you had even said, like, I just do it when I'm bored and need something to do.
Yeah, I don't really care about that. I've had bananas before on that account, but they're not nearly as much as, like, my Pre-Cum Mars account. Every time I go live over there, I get bananaed, or Darth Hawking. I get bananaed on that one every time I go live. Those accounts, like, they're just throwaways, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I like that they can't hold you down. A troll will do their thing. But, like, in no disrespect, you're king. Hats off to you. It was a pleasure getting to talk to you, ask you some questions. And, Crystal, I want you to know that your contribution was not unnoticed, because I was dying at what you were saying, too. And your improv is just as beautiful.
Aw,
so
thank you.
That's all I got from you.
Well, thanks for coming up
ya.
to here. We appreciate
Thank you for being here.
Big W in the chat for Tahir. I don't know why I'm doing a heart, but you know that too. I want to say really quick, hi, Holy Gore. Thank you for joining the YouTube. I really appreciate that when you're trying to reach everybody's lives. That's really cool. I appreciate that. Nick or Shelly, do you guys have questions for Joyful?
Yeah, hey, I do have a really quick question. I was just curious, Joyful, when you did deconvert, if you had to change a lot of your political views. I know I did when I deconstructed almost 15 years ago. So I was just curious if that was your experience also.
Okay, so yes and no. So my political views, yes, because, like, I was, if somebody was to ask me who I would have rather out of Hillary and Trump, it would have been Trump. If somebody would have asked me, but I, as a Christian, believe that it was not my place to vote. Because of scriptures where Paul says things like, it's not your business what happens outside of the church, but rather judge those inside the church. Things like that. And, to yield to authority, because everybody that has been placed in authority was placed there by God. So, like, it was a lack of faith to me to put a vote out there because God's person was going to get there anyway, according to Scripture, and Paul saying that the world is the world, let them have the world. So my kind of political views didn't go very far. Besides, my wife and me would argue about it, but other than that, like, I would argue against my family, but just because they were political and Christian, and I would just tell them that that was not true. Or not good.
Yep. Yeah, not that they weren't doing what the Bible said to do. I understand that. Yeah, because I know mine had to go pretty far to the left. I thought I was, this conservative, anti-everything. And once I deconstructed, I, not only looked at my religious views, but also, finally came out, realized that I am more progressive, liberal. So a lot of things happened when I deconstructed. So I was just curious if that was your experience as well.
Well, yeah, and one thing I would like to add is, like, so I've said this on my lives. It's not something I'm shy about. Like, I go by they, him pronouns, and also I am attracted to both men and women. But that was something that, like, was used because of my views to tear me down. That was something that I used to make myself, all the things I was taught about being inherently wicked, gave it those kind of thoughts value. Because yes, look at me, I'm finding other men attractive. God says this is detestable. He turns people over to a debased mind to where they'll be attracted to the... So that was something, like, I always beat myself up for and would never admit to anybody. Right. But coming out of the church and looking at how harmful it was to myself to be anti-gay, anti-LGBTQ was, like, a big pushing point for me to be like, no, that, like, the whole being anti-LGBTQ is not beneficial to anybody. It's not beneficial to you, and it's not beneficial to others, so.
Exactly. I understand completely, but that's all I had. I just wanted to thank you both for what you're doing. I'm glad to see the deconstruction community growing. And Crystal, I absolutely love when the tiny PP Christian men don't like when you talk and they have to, get their panties in a bunch because a woman is daring to speak. So y'all both just keep doing what you're doing, and I just love you both to bits.
Thank you so much, Shelly. We love you too. And you guys give it
Shelly.
W in the chat for Shelly. Chaos Engine had a good suggestion, Joyful. Chaos says Christians shouldn't vote would be a great background, great prompt. That's a pretty good idea. I like that.
Yeah, I could run that sometime. Yeah.
Because it's backed by some scripture there, too. Hey, Nick, how are you?
Hey, loves, beautiful Crystal, the gorgeous Liz Ray, and the pretty Joyful.
I am pretty.
Hey, thank you to my new subscribers. I didn't get to see who... I think I can click on this and they'll tell me. I'm sorry, let me thank them real quick if I can see. I don't know if I can see. I don't know how any of this works. Okay, if you just subscribed, thank you. I didn't get to see who it was. If you know who subscribed, tell me in chat and I can thank them personally because I didn't get to see it. But thank you.
Joyful, what, and I don't, within the Decon community, I don't think we all talk about this enough. And I think, sometimes it's good for other people to hear it. I try to talk about it as often as I can, just so people know that they're not alone. But what do you think was the most detrimental when you deconstruction? Like, what really, just unalived you when you were coming out of it?
Knowing the implications it would have on my relationships.
That's a big one.
It was a little bittersweet because, my daughter being LGBTQ, it was a little bittersweet because my wife and I fought a lot about this kind of stuff because I believed things like I would pray that I would have the faith to do some of these horrible things, like if I was called to like lay down my family's life for God, if that's what I was called to drag them to some place where they could be unalived. And I think that stuff really does happen. I think it's over exaggerated in the church how often and all that in the world today. But now that I'm out of it and like actually look at real statistics and things, but like I wanted the faith to put my family in those kind of situations, and that is not easy for having a partner that doesn't believe what you believe, and you're willing to put their children at risk for your sky fairy. You know, to me it wasn't that, but it was to her. It was this nonsensical thing I was believing in. So there was a lot of bittersweet to it, but like I don't know if you were here when I was saying it earlier, just how close-knit my family was. It just, that whole bit went away. It just was gone in a poof. And I don't think it's something, there are a lot of things that have been replaced, but I don't know that the relationships I had will ever truly be replaced.
Yeah. And, you know, that's why this community is so important. So they're not, you know, like, I bring it up a lot is when I deconstruction, I was alone, and that's why I do what I do, so you guys don't have to be. Sorry, I'm getting a little teary-eyed.
Aww.
Because it's a hard thing to, you know, yeah, exactly, to hear a chosen family, like, you know, this, what, you know, everybody built individually, and now what, you know, Benny and the admins and mods of Deconstruction Junction are doing, your voice, Crystal's voice, everybody's voice that came out of this is something the world needed that it didn't know it needed. So,
and absolutely, and something I would like to add to that, Nick, is people that are in my chat, like Shelly and Jason and all of these people that are always in the chats, I see you. I see you, and you do not understand the impact you guys being in my lives, you guys being supportive, you guys being impacted by, you do not understand the impact that has on me. You guys, like, are what keeps me going at this point. Like, you guys are all so amazing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you are always getting new accounts, but I follow you every time that you refollow me, so. But, and guys, if I'm not following you back, it's not because I don't want to. There are so many people, and if I went through my following list, there's a bunch of people that follow me that I wish weren't following me. So usually if I get a chance and I talk to you, you're going to get a follow back. If I realize I'm not following you, it is nothing personal. You guys mean the world to me, for real.
You really do. You mean the world to both of us. You guys are the reason that we do this all the time, and we both really enjoy it. We actually have talked about it too. Like, if for any reason it wasn't fun anymore, we didn't enjoy what we were doing, we wouldn't do it anymore. But you guys make it really fun, and the community is just amazing. Speaking of the community, I want to say hi to a couple of people on YouTube right now. Hi, Benny Boy, and hi, Eve. Quill, I think I've said hi to you already, but thank you guys for all the people who are watching over on YouTube. And if there's anybody on Twitch, because I can't see the Twitch stream. Hi, everybody. I do want to tell you guys really quick, another little quick commercial break. I'm doing a giveaway if you have subscribed to my YouTube channel. Now, if you're already a subscriber, all you have to do is go to my channel on the Discord and drop your handle there, okay? And then once I reach 500 subscribers on YouTube, I'm giving away this amazing mug. It is the POSFF mug. Wait, I gotta turn it that way. POSFF mug. And on the back it says, so you don't actually consider yourself a Christian, but you are a piece of shit fuckface. See?
I love it.
So, if you'd like to win this amazing mug, all you have to do is subscribe to me on YouTube and then go put your handle in my channel on the Discord. If you're not a part of our Discord, what are you doing? It's absolutely free. The link is in my bio. And we have the great Benny Boy to thank for that Discord. We have over 2,000. We're hitting close to 2,500 members now on the Discord. Liz, myself, and Benny are the admins, and then we have a bunch of wonderful super mods in there. We have over 40 creators, including Joyful, including myself, including Nick. We have Dugald and Rhea and Justin and Thinker, Christina Carroll, Eric, Myth Vision is in there. So make sure you're a part of the Discord. If you really love our community, it's a great way to be more active in the community. Anyway, sorry, had to do that real quick.
Oh, no, you're fine.
That was the reason I was staying up, because I think it's a crime, an actual crime, that Crystal only has 132 subscribers on YouTube right now. So I have been putting her YouTube handle in the chat. If you are unable to go and subscribe today or right now, make sure that you come back and it's in her bio. We got to get this girl up because she deserves way more follows than 132 over on YouTube.
And I am putting all of these videos are going directly to the YouTube. I'm live on YouTube, and so once the live finishes, it uploads directly to YouTube. But I also make some shorts, and if you get a chance, check my channel out. I've dropped a few of them. There's some funny ones in there. There's some interesting ones in there, but they're just based on the interviews that I'm doing here. I'm doing some 1-minute shorts. You have to do all of this to get monetized on YouTube. So I need your help so that you guys, it's a free way to support Decon Q&A with CrystalJae.
Right on. Well, I'm going to drop and let you get to other questions.
I have nobody waiting if you want to stay up. You guys, if you are in the chat, Seth, you should come up. Benny, come on up. If you guys want to come up and ask questions, I see Jason in the chat. Schley is there. Come on up, ask your questions of Joyful, and have a little fun with us. And also, subscribe to the house.
The other thing I would like to say to Nick's question about the hardest thing about deconstructing, another big one for me was that ingrained thought that I was worthless without God. So without God, at that point, I am worthless. And that's something you can't just turn off because you don't believe in God anymore. It's something you've been taught your whole life, that like God is what brings worth to you. So literally you're giving your worth up when you do it. It's like people don't understand. Like they act like my family act like I just want to sin and I want my kids to be able to be LGBTQ and I want this, that, and the other, and that's why I left Jesus. And people just don't understand the actual torment you go through in the stages of deconstruction, and that I'm still going through at times today, this far in, and it's still some days that are just torture.
Yeah, you really go through the stages of grief coming out of it. On top of that, you begin to realize that you didn't know it before, but you're traumatized.
Oh yeah.
It took me a long time to get out of that there's a hell and I'm going to it mindset.
Like,
For
you
sure.
really come out traumatized.
Crystal, I'm sorry. I have to take just a short break. I will be right back.
Okay, let me say hi
well,
to. Oh, he'll be
I was
right.
gonna ask a question.
All right, well, he'll be right back, Benny boy.
Well, you can wait, Benny.
Yeah, I'll wait.
I want to say hi to New Zealand Peaky Cunt over at YouTube. That's his name. I didn't call him that. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. We appreciate you so much. You guys, I'm going to do another quick commercial, and then we'll say hi to Benny. Maybe Joyful will be back by then. Thank you so much for all the likes, shares, follows, and gifting. I do have a gift goal right now. I'm sitting at 88 of 666 of the gold coins. They're with 5 of your little coins each. So if you have coin, send me some of those up. Also, I have 21 of my goal for 51 subscribers. You can support this channel and maybe save one of my cats for less than a cat. Should I bring up a cat and do the in the arms of an angel? I have 6 running around here, so I'm sure that I could get, somebody to feel sad for me and feel sorry for me. But it's less than a cup of coffee a month. You're subscribed to, I don't know, what are they subscribed to this time? You're subscribed to Prime. You're subscribed to, what are some paid subscription things? Disney Channel. You're subscribed to,
Oh,
yeah, Cornhub.
Not in Nebraska.
No, you get it, but OnlyFans works in Nebraska. It's my OnlyFans in my link tree.
So why don't you cancel some of those subscription and then go wash your hands? And save yourself some money and subscribe to me. It's less than a cup of coffee a month, and I'm bringing you the best creators for Decon Q&A with CrystalJae, giving you a chance to ask them your questions and not interrupt them when they're trying to cook Christians. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I really do. I'm just saying. Okay, Benny, I talked enough that he is now back, and you can ask him your burning questions.
Yeah, first question I have here is...
Thanks for subscribing. Sorry. Somebody
what
subscribed on
is
YouTube.
Your social security number?
It is 573. No. I will say a lot on the internet. That is not one of them.
I was gonna say, yeah, you were like giving up a bunch of info recently.
Yeah, I'll give up pretty much everything. My social is a no.
I thought Mezzo was giving up his information, but he just gave the address to Neverland Range.
He does that all the time. He's so ridiculous.
I know his jokes have layers, but this isn't about Mezzo. This is about Joyful.
It is.
And Joyful, when are you gonna get a computer?
As soon as I can.
If you would like to help Joyful get a computer, all of his links are in his bio, so you can tip him on one of his links, because we'd like him to get a computer so he could do all kinds of fun things like I'm doing right now.
Yeah, like what Crystal's doing right now. And Crystal can teach everybody how to do it.
I did help Cyber Deconstruction. I hope it
did
worked
you?
for him. Yeah, he asked me, and okay, I will.
Nice.
I think I can do that.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't know Seth wasn't a moderator. Did it work,
Benny,
Seth?
as soon as I can, I will.
No, you're fine. One thing I did find out just a little bit ago is that did you know that you can use Video Ninja on TikTok Studio?
No,
Really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like you can actually have just the Video Ninja guest on your TikTok feed instead of having to go through like OBS, which makes it a little bit. You could probably allow it to where the guests can talk to each other between TikTok and Video Ninja. Anyways, yeah,
That's wild.
we'll have to look at that.
Ghost, yes, I just use a phone. My computer is not capable to do like anything. It's basically a glorified phone. But it like is the TikTok on it is the computer style, so I can't stream from it. But like if I try to get like StreamYard or something, all I can get is a phone version.
And yeah,
Jason, thank
it's
you for
like,
subscribing.
You can't take gas the right way with that way, and
Yeah.
we just need, and like honestly, we need to get you a computer that's like a decent one, because when I was trying to run everything on this computer that I'm messing around with, I don't know. Like a newer one is definitely. So
Yeah.
we'll have to look at it. I'm
trying, Benny. I'm trying. It might be a minute.
We just need a fundraise for you.
There we go. We need a GoFundMe to get me a computer. No, but yeah, that we are working towards it.
What is your favorite verse of the Bible?
Oh God.
Benny likes to ask this question. If you haven't been watching, when Benny joins us and we bring up a Christian and I do my first qualifying questions, then Benny goes, "What is your favorite verse of the Bible?" Now, the funny thing is that Christians don't read their Bible, so it's 99% of the time John 3:16. So he's just testing them.
Or it's well, really though, like when I try and think of my favorite verse, it's hard for me to even like. The only verses I know by like heart are like the awful ones. Like, 2 Samuel 15:3, or I mean Numbers 31:17. Genesis 9:3. Is that the one where?
I don't remember. I'm really bad about memorizing Bible verses. I used to be really good at it.
Yeah. Anymore, you don't need to. It's like, you know, if you have a phone near you, you can look it up.
Kona, thank you for subscribing over on YouTube, and thanks for watching us over on YouTube. I really appreciate our Konami. I called you Kona. But Jason M., thank you for subscribing over on TikTok. I really appreciate it. And if you're on Twitch, I can't tell right now because I haven't learned how to watch Twitch while I'm doing all this. There are so many things you have to watch when you're multi-streaming. It gets a little wild.
That's why, like, Streamlabs, if you can start getting the money for it, like, it'll put all of them in one chat for you.
So will Restream, but...
Oh, well.
Yeah, it kind of does that too. But then, I don't know, like, I didn't like the way overlapped.
Yeah,
but anyway, Restream is free, and I like free.
I was going to ask Joyful, here's an actual question here. Do you ever feel, like, guilty for, like, making people believe in Christianity, you know, like when you were a pastor? Like, I've mentioned it before where I was like, oh yeah, like a my name is Earl kind of like situation where like going back and like deconverting all the people you've converted before. I don't know, because I was not a Christian.
So that is a big question, because I do feel like there is part of me that does feel regret to anybody that I brought into a lie, especially one that leads to forces you to come to horrible conclusions. So the short answer is yes. Like, I do feel like some weight of guilt when it comes to that. Mm-hmm. The more long answer would be it's a yes and no, because there are people that were struggling with addiction that came out of addiction after being in the church that I brought into the fold. You know, there were good things that happened which I think were positive. I still wish, though, that I could have done it in a more constructive manner. Sometimes just I don't think the means justify the ends, yeah. But fortunately, they are no longer struggling with those things. But I wish I would have done it a different way.
Well, that's a good way to put it. I think about this a lot, like recently. I'm sure a lot of people probably are like, oh gosh, like groaning, like why did I, try so hard at like convincing people these things? Like, but I totally get the like positive aspect of if it helped them.
I thought about that a lot too recently, Benny. And the fact of the matter is that even if I witnessed to people and like they started going to church more, this or that, or they ended up going to an altar call for the 14th time, the fact of the matter is I don't think there's anybody that I reached out to that wasn't already infected with Christianity to begin with, because of the country and state and places that we live and how prevalent it is in our society. And if it hadn't have been me, it would have been somebody else that would have got to him. So I can't feel real guilt about it, because it was going to happen. Like, I really believe it was.
It's like an inevitability.
It would have been God's will, Benny. It would have been God's... No, I'm sorry. I mean, it would have happened just because of because of the situation. But we do keep count, and we have tallied off for every Christian that we've, converted. We have also deconstructed a Christian. So we're at 0 right now, Joyful and I. We're... Oh, no, I'm just kidding. We don't keep track.
I mean, really, like it probably is getting to around there. I feel like having the internet and stuff has like amplified the message a lot more. So at least like it's not just in a church or something.
Yeah. I want to see the poll, but I haven't figured out how I pull it up. I don't know.
I can't. When you're a host, I don't know how to do it.
I don't know how to do these things. I don't know.
What is everybody just teacupping now? Everybody start tapping the screen. I just got some coins, so I was gonna do some.
Evan, thank you so much for the donation toward the computer that will go straight to the computer fund. I appreciate you so much. You are such a good support.
Evan's
thank you
amazing.
so much.
Yeah, Evan's awesome.
Evan is like an incredible supporter for the community. He has been for quite a long time. He always comes out and supports our hosts in more ways than this one. Like Evan needs like some kind of like freaking award or something. I don't know, because Evan is just.
We should do an award show called the Deconies.
The Decon award.
Schley wanted to do something like that. They were called like something like, or a deconvention kind of thing, like something like where they give awards.
Nick, read me the poll, because I can't do it. So read it to me. What does it say? What do we got for the poll tonight?
It said, how are you going to support Crystal? It was gift, subscribe, tap to infinity, which is
subscribe to YouTube and win the POSFF mug. Yeah.
None, because you're deeply unhappy. Jeez. Nobody picked none. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. So like doing what Evan has done is like so important to the actual like cause of all this. Like anybody who's listening, like we are like becoming something like much bigger than I even like imagined.
I know,
and,
for sure.
Like the more people that we can get like on board, and the more we can at least like uplift some of these creators, so they can get out to more people. That's where like a lot of things are gonna get done, and like it's a major like grift pitch, but like it's not a grift, because this is actually like something you're a part of. You're like donating to, like, why would you donate to a campaign when you could like actually donate to something real that's like actually bringing about real change, and
yeah,
it's just like doing that kind of thing is, I don't know, it's like the best thing. Like if you don't want to be a creator, or if you don't really know what to do to like be involved, like giving, if you can afford it, is a very good way to do that.
I just want to say, if you would like to save this kitty from being deported out of my house, it's less than a cup of coffee.
Oh my god, that looks like our cat.
This is Sputnik.
Yeah, I'll probably, if I ever come visit you, be leaving with an extra suitcase with some holes poked in it.
That's Sputnik. He's one of 3 kittens that somebody abandoned on our property last year.
We're literally like, there's this stray that's like super friendly, and we've been like bringing it in some with introducing it to our animals because we're planning on bringing it in. It's like already been clipped and everything, so that's all good. We'll have to get it flea treated and everything, but we've been bringing it in and like acclimating it in the house and stuff because my kids and we love animals. So we are an animal family.
Oh, it did let me see the poll when it ended. Thank you guys for all your support. I appreciate it. Jay Like Snaps, thank you for joining me over on YouTube. Sorry, I'm having a little lag over on TikTok. It's going to happen because I run TikTok Studio. Konami over in YouTube, I know that Streamlabs lets you do multiple streams for free from 2 sources. I actually streamed at 3 places, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. So I have to have one that lets me do 3. Cyber Deconstruction, thank you for joining us. How are you tonight?
I am doing fantastic. How are you all doing?
Great. What do you got for us tonight?
So Joyful, just kind of a personal question. If you could visit anywhere right now, take your family, where would you want to visit with your family?
Oh, Greece.
Me
Greece,
too.
Nice.
I just said that in my last decon. That's where I want to go so bad.
Joyful, what's your Cash App? Is it just Joyful Apostate?
Yep.
Okay.
Seems like everybody wants to go to Greece, which is awesome.
Isn't the possibility, sorry, Cyber, a possibility to get a PayPal too, because Canadians, we don't get access to Cash App or Venmo, and so it's really hard for us to donate to our friends.
So I do have a PayPal for like Deconstruction Junction. If anybody ever wants to pay that, and I can pay a whoever, like you just tell me who to pay. So like it's literally, I think it's just like Deconstruction Junction.
Yeah, me and my wife have always wanted to go to Greece. So
Nice.
that would be where I'd go.
I want to go to Greece too. I've been there once, but I'd love to go back again. Benny, you were talking a little bit earlier about the plans for the Deconstruction Junction. About a week or 2 ago, I was on Justin's Live, and we had Duke White Jr. come up, and I think he's a pastor that wants to deconstruct, but he has but he's been, doing a pastor for, 25 years. He's got nothing to fall back on, but we pointed out that it sounds like he's kind of, on the verge of deconstructing, and kind of brought up, Mike, would you ever be interested if, like, Justin or anybody in this community, like, you streamed a TikTok or something, and we did, like, a debate or something, and he said and then he brought up he has a television station, like, that he owns, whether or not that's true or false.
Yeah, he did say, like, at a station, didn't he? But
it might be, because he said he would be willing to host on his station, like, a deconstruction period. Like a time slot. So maybe it might be worth reaching out to him and see if there's a way to get something like that rolling.
Send me his. I don't have his. I don't think I followed him or anything.
I can send you his profile's information.
Yeah, I'll look him up and then see what we can do. The only hard thing is like Justin's so busy right now. So like I don't know if Justin would be able to do anything, but we could probably get something set up maybe otherwise.
Yeah, I just think it'd be cool because at least he was honest and saying like, yeah, it is extremely important for the congregation to hear both sides of the coin, to see both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
But anyways, enjoy.
like in
Oh,
you
go ahead.
and Joyful and stuff like going on there though, for sure. Like, and just discussing with him. I think that like getting our voice out to some like congregants is actually a really good idea.
I think Pastor and Deaconess would do fantastic on that channel.
God. There's a question: is where did Pastor come from?
Hang on 1 second before you answer that. Solo, I'm gonna disconnect you, but try to come back up again. It's probably just a little thing with TikTok Studio, but Solo Vino, please feel free to request again. And also, Alexander has said in TikTok that if we're going to Greece, we could also go over to Serbia and visit him, and we have a place to stay. That would be fun.
Nice. Where did...
Sorry, Joyful. I just, now that you got new people, I'm just going to pop down and let new people come up. So I love you guys.
Love you too, Nick.
Love you,
Thank you
sister.
for being here. Jay Knapp said, did he say his station has 1 million viewers? Yes, he did. That's what he said. He had about 1 million viewers on his station. I don't know what station that is, but he did say that.
I am going to put a payment link for the Deconstruction Junction in your channel.
Okay, so...
Train.
These fucking trains, man.
You know what? Quit having people pull trains on you, Joyful. We wouldn't have those problems.
Yeah.
Shit.
Quit.
When it's happening, I just put up like an image of me on the live that's like pre-recorded. So people
And the
can't see
trains
what's
just
actually
won't
happening.
Stop coming.
But Pastor just came from it started with I made some videos like satire videos picking on Trump lovers and just like saying outlandish shit in a hick accent. And then I was like, you know what? I could probably make a live out of this. So one day I was at home by myself because I forget. It was too cold to work or something. My wife was at work. And I was like, what is my name going to be? This was after I already had Darth. Well, you guys had seen Darth Hawken at that point, Benny.
Yeah.
But I was like, what? Because that was it. Because I was going to do one of those lives, but I was bananaed. And I was like, you know, I could. And then I came up with I am his pastor for the name and had the little picture. And I had a background of Donald Trump. And it said Trump equals Jesus. It had an equal sign, then Jesus, God's chosen people. And I only got like 5 people in the live, but it was hilarious. It was funny.
I like what Seth
And then
said.
it just kind of evolved from there.
Seth says, I love
Nice.
this image of Joyful cooking up some mischief. You're sitting at home. What could I do today?
So, last thing I'll say, and then I'll just drop down real quick. But Joyful, I really appreciate you. I appreciate the time that you take after your lives to come into my live, and especially when you hop up on the panel. So I appreciate you.
Well, to me, this is about community. It's not about me. It's not about Justin. It's not about Cyber, and it's not about anybody else. This is all about community, and that's why, like, even though I'm not the hugest, I like to bring on other people that don't get as many people as me onto my panels to expose them to the people I've got. Like, this is about community for me and growing it, spreading the good news of you can deconstruct and there's hope on this side of it.
Yes.
It is
yes.
about me, though.
Chris-
Oh, no.
yes, it is about
True.
Crystal.
It is about Crystal.
But Crystal, thanks for bringing me up. Joyful, keep
Cyber?
knocking it out of the park.
Don't leave yet. You guys, Cyber Deconstruction, make sure you're following him. He and I will be live Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific time right here. So make sure you're subscribed to me. Make sure you're following us because we're going to have another Q&A with Cyber Deconstruction. And Cyber is super smart, knows a lot about the Bible, but he also knows a lot about Mormonism. And so he's very fascinating to talk to. Make sure you join us Friday, 4 p.m.
And he's
And
not
you-
so bad
you-
to look
you-
at.
See, now I'm turning red. Now I'm turning red. Also, yeah, and if you are in chat and you are an ex-Mormon, or you're, if you're an ex-Mormon, because we're not going to do debates, go ahead, come on up. We can also talk about some of that too in a little bit as well. So.
Absolutely. I look forward to it, Cyber. I can't wait to see you.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming up. Bye, Cyber. Big W in the chat for Cyber, you guys.
Benny's such a flirt.
I know.
He's always flirting with everybody except for me. It kind of makes me jealous.
Did you guys see the short that I made today? He was talking about ass with Christ before Jesus. Yeah, he was like, Benny was like, did you guys talk about worshiping ass? And I'm like, Benny, you're the only one who wants to worship ass. Like, you're the one. Like, you should write the book on worshiping.
I don't think people appreciate the amount of ass worship that is connected to Christianity.
I don't think we do. I really don't think we know enough about it.
I've got to go check on my son just really quick again. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
I'll do a commercial, and then when we get back solo, you can pick Joyful's brain. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for being here. We have 46 people in the live right now. Can we get me up to over 50,000? I have been live now for almost 2 hours, and usually when somebody's live for like 2 hours, 50 viewers, we're up to close to 2 million likes right now, and I'm sitting at 41. Can we get me closer to at least, 50,000? So anyway, also, if you haven't subscribed, I'm going to tell you again, please subscribe. We're trying to get to over 50 subscribers on my channel because people like Seth want to start giving out subscriptions, and he can't do that until I reach that beautiful number of 50. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you're liking and subscribing to my channel on YouTube. And if you are in the Discord, make sure that if you've subscribed to my channel, that you put your handle down in my channel so that you are in the drawing for this beautiful POSFF mug. It says POSFF, and then on the back it says, so you don't actually consider yourself a Christian, but you are a piece of shit fuckface. So if you want to win the POSFF mug, make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube and put your handle in my channel on Discord. The link to our Discord is in my bio. Okay, Solo, take it away.
Okay. So I've got two questions. My first question is, do you mind if I ask my second question first?
Was that your question? Was that your question? I think you used one of them up already, Solo. What are you going to do?
Wait.
I'll ask my second one then.
This is a paradox. No. Hurting my brain.
Now that we are no longer, believers in God, right? Don't you feel like you're more empowered to test him in ways that you couldn't do previously? Like, for instance, you can be more, obviously we can be more disrespectful, but we could actually say, hey God, if you're real, then go ahead. I don't care. Here I am. Here I stand. If you want to take me away, just do it right now. Don't even wait. Just take me.
Please, God. Right when I said that too.
Where did he go?
Please, God.
Oh my God.
God took him.
God's real?
You guys?
I think Solo just saved some people up in here.
I think he did.
Praise
Amen.
God. Praise God, amen.
Solo cracks me up. W the chat for Solo. He is funny. And if you're not following Solo, say something in the chat so everybody can follow you. He does amazing lives too. And he's like a deep thinker, and he's laid back, and he's like a Zach Galifianakis if he was doing deconstruction.
I like that. Yeah.
I can see that.
Hi, Ribbles. Good to see you.
Speaking of funny guys that aren't here, though, we're Joel and Mezzo, huh? Jeez.
Yeah,
I guess
whatever.
They won't be on the show until they're featured on the show
I
or
guess.
something.
Yeah, they're kind of losers like that, both of them. Yeah, I had the chance to finally be on a panel with Mezzo on Thinkers Live last night after our live. It was pretty late. But then we didn't even really get to talk to anybody because everybody that came up were just POSFFs. For real.
I caught Thinkers Live that next morning because Seth was like, "Oh my God, are you listening to Think?" And yeah, she was going off on somebody.
That's our girl.
Yeah, I love Thinker. Thinker is amazing.
She is.
I didn't even know, like, for the longest time, I had no clue who her, like, Justin would talk about them, but I had no clue who they were for, like, the longest time.
I love Thinker. She's amazing. And Pinkbeard and all of them. Christina, Carol, Rhea, the whole gang. Solo, you're back. What happened?
The Nuds.
I returned.
This
is my second coming. I thought it was.
I knew I could make you come again.
I had unfinished business. There you go. Let's see. I felt like it was prudent for me to ask a serious question. Let's see. Do you have family members that are still Christian?
Yes, I have 11 brothers and sisters that are, and then my 2 parents are.
Yeah. So here's something that I catch myself feeling every now and then, and I'm just curious if you feel the same. I feel very strongly that God is not real, and that the Bible's full of shit, just like you. And
Amen.
But here's the thing: do you catch yourself saying things about it that whether or not they have good reason or not, you know that it would hurt your family members' feelings? And you kind of feel like just guilty just for that. Not because it's not the truth, but that, the truth that you believe in and the way that you project it on social media would be something that your family would find hurtful. Like, does that come up in your specific, life? Do you feel that the same way that I do?
I used to. And the reason I say that is I was worried for a while when I first started that what it was going to do, because I knew it was just a matter of time until somebody knew about it. Once one person knows, everybody knows. But it didn't take long for that to happen. And they went about it in such a way to where they just talked shit about me and hid in the shadows watching. Although I can see, or back then I could see who was looking at my page and stuff. Like, I'm not a complete idiot. So I knew that they were watching my stuff. I saw them come into my lives. And so, and I would hear from certain people things that I said. So I knew they were all just talking about it. So the way they went about it kind of changed my outlook on it to where, now I don't really care. Yeah, if they would have came to me sincerely and been like, this hurt, you did this and it hurt my feelings, we could talk about that for sure, and I would be sympathetic because I was there. But yeah, it usually now I'm just like, if you don't like it, prove me wrong. Prove what I'm saying wrong. Don't just complain about me to other people. Don't just complain to me about me. Prove what I'm saying is wrong, and then I'll quit saying it. I have conceded several times on my live. I've apologized on my live. So I kind of just treat them like I do everybody else that I talk to. And so I kind of just moved past it pretty quick, I guess is the short answer. Sorry, I kind of rambled.
No, not at all. And yeah, I think maybe the difference between your situation and mine is that, you know, I don't have the lurkers or the people that seem to be talking behind my back. And I think the two people in my family that know have expressed a certain level of disappointment, which I think is normal. But you know, I keep it hidden from my parents, who I know at their age it would be not beneficial to even really reveal it to them. But I was just curious how you handled that particular aspect of your deconstruction.
One other thing I will say in my benefit is, my mom not so much, but my dad is the definition of a bleeding heart for his kids. Like, he is the definition of a bleeding heart. So, like, my dad is the person that's going to be like, me and him disagree on so many things. Like, it's unbelievable. But at the end of the day, my dad wants his family to stick together. So, and like, being brought up the way we were, like, even now, like, we see our dad as like a authority figure, like somebody to look up to, somebody that like we're still looking at, like, for approval and things. And like, I'm trying to deconstruct that because I think that's unhealthy, and I think that I don't want my kids to feel that way. But like, I have that working in my advantage because all of my siblings look so much up to my dad. So when my dad starts making like these arguments with them, trying to soften their feelings of angst towards me, that helps a lot because they will concede to my dad's wishes, which is unhealthy, but it is working in my benefit right now. So I'm kind of like, good.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. I'm enjoying the live. I'm gonna go ahead and jump down and leave room for someone else to come up and ask you something. We should. I've appreciated the time that you've come into my live. I'm not invited myself, but
you should come co-host with
us sometime together and see how well we tackle the. You've got more of the biblical knowledge. I'm not sure what I bring to it other than sort of a philosophical mind, but it would be interesting to say the least.
Yeah, we can do like God doesn't exist, just playing out, and that usually brings people that want to talk about all facets. So yeah, so give me a DM this Thursday. We have Christina Carroll. But next week I don't have anybody lined up for either of them. I was thinking about taking a break, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm all over the place with that. But send me a DM and we'll set up a day for next week to do it, and we'll go straight in. And I love coming up on your panels, man. I appreciate your lives.
All right, you have a good one, sir. Bye, everybody. Bye, Benny.
Solo,
bye.
Thanks for coming up.
Solo.
W in the chat for Solo, and W in the chat for the cats who attacked my green screen and have screwed it up. That was Sputnik and Tito attacking my green screen.
So do you literally have a green screen behind you?
Yeah.
I'm figuring out ways to not have a green screen, too, because I recently pulled out this other computer, so I got TikTok Studio on there because I wanted to know what it looked like and stuff. Cyber asked me what to do, and I was like, I have no idea what TikTok Studio even looks like.
The green screen I'm using is through OBS, and if you hear something running right now, it is our automatic kitty litter thing, so you're going to hear that right now. Anyway, you don't have to do all this. I just wanted a cool motion background with crystals. So you don't have to do all this. And I'm not going to worry about trying to fix it right now because it's like whatever. Okay. But anyway, yeah, you don't have to do all the weird stuff.
No, but I was just trying to say, like, for like anybody listening too, like there's ways to do it digitally, even with like if you wanted to, you could go, I noticed in TikTok Studio, and you could like actually click it's like cut out or something.
Yeah, but it doesn't bring it into OBS for YouTube and
for YouTube, you're right.
Twitch.
Good point.
I have to do it from OBS to the other thing, so kind of have to do it this way. I also need your help this week because I'm hoping before Friday that you and I can crop it so that I can have you guys up on the screen on YouTube and Twitch. I tried to do it today, and I had no idea what I was doing. I tried really hard.
That I can do. That I can do for you. And also, I'm interested in Video Ninja on TikTok Live. So I think that's the way to get people to talk to each other. But anyways, no, that's nerdy stuff that nobody else needs to hear about.
What?
What's your favorite genre of music?
Hip hop.
Hip hop? Who's your favorite rap artist?
It's going to be between Joyner Lucas and NF.
Who?
Joyner Lucas and NF.
I don't know who either of those
I don't
people
either.
are.
I don't know those people.
Like
NF.
NF?
Yes, look up NF. I was his #1 listener on Spotify 2 years ago. They literally sent me this thing that says, you were someone's #1 listener. And, I mean, he has a lot, like, he's pretty famous.
Oh, okay.
Evan thought you said K-pop.
NF is amazing, and yes, he is technically a Christian who raps. He's a very deconstructed Christian. Like, I know he's done Pride events and stuff. But yes, his music is very deep, and it really speaks to mental health. And Joyner Lucas, I'm just a big fan of his style.
I guess I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know either. Hey, you guys, if you're in chat, Dr. Joe, thanks for joining us tonight. I see you there. Double Donkey, I thought you were going to actually come up and ask a question about the pastor. But if you are in chat, we're going to be live for probably about 20 more minutes. Come on up, ask Joyful a question, and talk with us. We're fun. We're cool. We're the cool kids.
We are. Yeah. Come up, be one of the cool kids with us. Besides Benny. Benny, so what's your favorite kind of music?
I like Sufjan Stevens. He's probably my favorite singer. He's like a singer-songwriter. He is also actually has like a lot of Christian music, but it's also possibly just talking about being gay. But like,
what's the name?
Sufjan, Sufjan Stevens.
Okay.
But like, there's more than just Sufjan that I listen to. I mean, like when it comes to like hip hop, I was very much into like the Dirty South, you know, like Memphis, Tennessee, 3-6 Mafia, or like the ATL music, like Ludacris. You know,
Luda.
Yeah, you know.
Yep.
And all of that. Like I used to like a lot of hip hop, and then I also like indie music. So like Radiohead, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also really into Rise Against.
Oh yeah, you like Rise Against. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I love Rise Against.
I used to listen to Rise Against back in the day.
I usually charge people to do this, but Tahir is a DJ and makes music mixes. I'm just putting that out there for her.
Oh, what? I did not know that.
You guys didn't?
Awesome.
You guys didn't
Nice.
ask me who my favorite was.
Who's your favorite?
I really
John and the East Side Boys.
I like Liberace. No, I'm just kidding. You guys, I'm a weirdo and a nerd.
You like Moby?
The bone. No, I love Weird Al Yankovic. I
Oh,
really do.
we listen to it all the time.
I love
like
it.
driving with the kids. Oh,
I
yeah.
like know every song. I like it. It just puts me in a great mood. And now when I
Weird
hear
Al is amazing.
when I hear the real songs, I can't ever hear the real lyrics anymore. Like
Yeah.
I always sing like Amish Paradise and stuff like that. But and I also like jazz, and so I have always been a fan of Al Jarreau. And if you don't know who that is, it's because I'm weird. That is the only reason.
I remember who Algebra is.
But I haven't really been listening to music for a really long time. So I am a type of person that likes for people to give me new music to listen to. So if you guys want, drop some people to listen to in the Discord for me, because I like to listen to new things that I haven't heard before.
Yeah, we had a few people that were like doing like a Discord playlist, like deconstruction playlists. I think that's good.
Here's the problem with NF if you start listening to him, Benny.
Yeah.
Just 1 second. Like, you can listen to just some random NF songs, and that's great. But his albums, all the way back from when he began till now, tell a story.
Oh, so like Taylor Swift?
Kind of. Yeah. So, like, and even his music videos always have a theme that lead up to, like, his newest, it all tells a story about his mental health journey. And it is, I don't know. It's so... it speaks to me a lot because I feel like me and him have a lot of the same issues.
How'd you find him?
I found him because I was a Christian, and he was a Christian artist. He doesn't ever, his earlier stuff, but he's never, specifically about Jesus, but he has a song like Oh Lord and things like that. But there's never, a specific Jesus song unless you go to something he's featured on. But yeah, most of his music is strictly about mental health.
My green screen.
But he's had platinum albums and stuff.
I'm muted.
Didn't Macklemore just have a
Yes, during my
recent
show.
song about?
Oh, fucked
So I'm
up.
gonna do two,
That's
and
my
I'm gonna staple it so it can't be
that
cut
is
off.
one of my faves right now. That is a great song.
I saw Macklemore live one time, and then it rained.
It's too short.
That-
It's too short.
Macklemore, I'm not a huge fan of his music, but I do appreciate Same Love was a good song. I like his stances he takes in his music. Not a big fan of the music itself.
Yeah, he is kind of a soy boy. No, yeah, I feel you too. The poppy music.
Yeah, I'm just not I'm not into pop rap. I'm not into mumble rap. It has to have substance to it.
Did I go at my thrift shop clothes? Yes. Oh yeah, because he's got that song. I forgot.
Popping tags, man. I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
forgot
pop
about
some tags. I got $20 in my pocket. I liked
See,
that
Crystal
song because I was
loves
at
this
thrift.
shit.
See, I even as old as I am, I do know who people are and their relevance. But I only know if people are hey, you should listen to this song. I knew who Kendrick Lamar was during the Super Bowl. I wasn't one of those old people sitting out there going, "Who is this guy?" And I knew about the beef. I knew about the beef with Drake.
With him and Drake.
I knew all about that.
To be honest, my favorite song in all of it, isn't it's either Euphoria or it's Rick Ross's song to Drake in the whole like thing. It like my favorite is probably Rick Ross's song.
Oh.
I don't even know if I've heard the Rick Ross.
Go
song.
around,
I didn't even know
and I'll
Rick
show you.
Ross was
Go
putting
around.
out music still.
Go around.
Yeah, well, I think that this was just special. It was specially for
Look at
Drake. He just constantly calls him a white boy.
If not, I don't know.
And like a lot of the stuff he says is funny about like his nose job.
Sorry, I don't know
and
what it is
stuff.
right now.
So
I'll find it for you
Yeah.
later. Let me finish my show.
What's Drake's real name? Aubrey? Yeah, Aubrey.
it's Aubrey something.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
remember
I don't care enough about
Degrassi.
Drake.
Yeah.
He's from Canada. Canada sucks.
Yeah.
No.
That's where you get Nick and Joel from.
Make amends and do
Quite a few Canadian friends that we have.
Aubrey Drake Graham. It was his name.
Yeah,
Was his name.
the Grams. That was a good song too. The Grams was, but I don't know. I wasn't like vibing with the actual music to it.
You like, actually good music? Like, I don't know, like Fleetwood Mac?
Oh, hell yeah.
I do like Fleetwood Mac.
Hell yeah.
Do you like Diane Warwick?
Dionne Warwick?
Dionne Warwick.
Oh, I hate Dionne Warwick.
You do?
Yeah, you want to know why I hate Dionne Warwick?
Yeah.
It's a personal story, though.
Yeah.
Okay, my first husband was a lot older than me, okay? Like 15 years older than me. I married him when I was 23. And before we met, he was Dionne Warwick's personal assistant. And for real, he really was. And he was also very controlling and just a controlling, abusive man, okay? And so young Crystal was stupid and married this stupid man. Anyway, at one point, Dionne Warwick had a garage sale when he was her personal assistant or some shit. I don't know what it was. And he took a bunch of clothes or bought them or whatever. Anyway, he had a bunch of Dionne Warwick clothes that he had saved because they were Dionne Warwick's, right? So then when we got married, he wanted me to wear like these 1970s Dionne Warwick clothes that, like, first of all, I'm not saying that some of them weren't cool, but they're cool if you're going to the Grammys. Where am I supposed to wear this to? Like, we live in Tahoe, okay? Like, it was weird. And also, just that he worked for her, like, it just put a bad taste in my mouth for her after that because I was like, ew. Like, now I don't like you because he's a jerk. So why did you pick him to be your personal assistant? He's an idiot. So, no, that was why. Otherwise, I like her songs. For good times and bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore. Yeah, I did. I did listen to her back in the day.
Joel's actually sung that song a few times.
Yeah, we've sang it together before.
Yeah, I don't know. I've listened to, like, if you listen to my playlist, it, like, you gotta be ready for whiplash. Because you're going to go from, like, Joyner Lucas or, like, maybe Rick Ross, Kevin Gates to Billie Eilish or to, like, there's just crazy shifts of music all day in my headphones.
Oh yeah, you do listen to music quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah, and I listen to Sarah Bareilles all the time. I love Sarah Bareilles and Rob Thomas. So like you go from Rick Ross to Rob Thomas, it's kind of like the mood. Like you just got to be on my ADHD train to appreciate my playlist, I guess.
What Rob Thomas is not that bad. I like, you know what, like,
it's not.
Rob Thomas deserves respect.
Oh, I love Rob Thomas. I think that he has a lot of good.
was a good band. Yeah, I agree, and he was a good singer from the '90s. I don't know. I just feel like some people lump him in with like Nickelback or something. It's like no, not Rob Thomas.
Yeah, I'm not a Nickelback fan. I didn't really like Seether and all that. I'm really like I go through phases where I listen to a lot of Breaking Benjamin a lot. Just very diverse, and it depends on my mood a lot. Creed, no, I was never a fan of Creed.
Our playlist is a lot of 80s and 70s because we're old, it's gonna happen. But it's very eclectic too, though. Like we will have Anita Baker, but with some Eagles, a little, I don't know who else is on our list right now. Neil Young, with Neil Diamond, Neil Diamond's on there too. So yeah, it's pretty eclectic, but it's mostly 80s and 70s because we actually don't really like a lot of the same music. Doug and I don't. So this is a playlist we've made where we can tolerate each other's choices in music.
One thing that I do like to listen to that, like, I don't do, like, at work or whatever, but when, like, I'm in a very somber mood or, like, not anxious as fuck like I normally am, I love listening to Michael Bublé and Frank Sinatra.
Yes.
They are like when I play pool, me and my dad has a pool table and he's like in leagues and stuff, but I'm not nearly as good at pool as him. But we play pool at his house every now and again, and we always listen to Michael Bublé and Frank Sinatra because that's something me and him have in common, and it's not Christian music. You know what I mean?
Yep. A little Harry
So,
Connick
like-
Jr. mixed in.
Oh yeah, Harry Connick Jr. Yeah.
Jay over in
Yep.
YouTube said "Smooth" by Rob Thomas and Santana was a vibe, and it was. Not gonna lie.
It was.
And
It was a
Evan
vibe.
says super. I jumped from Supertramp to Fugees to I can't talk. Rachmaninoff. And that's the way I am too. We jump around a bit.
Evan, I was actually first song that came to my head this morning was a Lauryn Hill song, but I was also thinking of the Fugees. What is that?
All right, so Christ Before Jesus had a question for me in the chat. He was too scared to come up and get cooked. Jaron, it's fine. I get it. I would be scared
No,
too.
not Switchfoot. I forgot that they're
like
Christians.
Switchfoot was like when I was a Christian, but towards the end I hated them because I went to one of their concerts and they were like being assholes. So like I kind of was turned off to them before I quit being a Christian. But POD is something I still will listen to on occasion, like when I'm listening to when I'm in the mood to like listen to Linkin Park and things like that.
Oh yeah, when you
I'll
need to
throw
be,
POD in there for sure.
I get what you mean. Like sometimes you need to like just dirt kid out. Like you got to be like in Linkin Park, and you got to POD and.
See, my wife's even worse than me because she'll go to like Mudvayne and stuff straight from Sarah Bareilles or Jadena. He's a rapper. Like she'll like give you real whiplash.
You guys, if
she's from Vegas, you can't trust people from Vegas.
You cannot trust people from Vegas.
Can't trust them.
You guys, if you're in chat and you want to ask Joyful a question, but you're a chicken and don't want to come up here, you can ask in the chat. We will be happy to answer your questions from there. It doesn't have to be about music. That's just what we're talking about right now. You can ask, about the Bible, about his background, about when he was a real associate pastor. Or you can ask about rap music because apparently he's an aficionado, and he's.
I am. I know some things about it.
Have you ever?
I would never show you anything I've recorded, but I have wrote songs. I have recorded some, but nothing that I would ever share.
I wrote a parody song once to Supersonic. Do you remember that
Goat
song?
rapper's a hard one. Parody rap to what?
Supersonic, do you remember that?
Greatest of all time rapper. Greatest of all time between Tupac, Biggie, and Kendrick.
I disagree.
For greatest rapper?
Yes, I would have to go with Nas.
Nas? Okay. I was gonna say like
I would have to go with Nas.
after that, like, I don't know, Nas or Snoop.
Nick Graves says
Nas?
Newsboys. Did you ever listen to Newsboys back in the day?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was just singing to my kids the other day, Take Me to Your Leader, because I memorized all those words, and for some reason, if I memorize something, I can never get rid of it.
Same.
So, I still know all of those words. Yeah. But yeah, I would say, for me, it would be Nas. That would be my goat for hip-hop. Kendrick's hard. I love Kendrick, but I don't know. I personally like J. Cole more than I like Kendrick.
Do you guys want to know a little
Personally.
secret about Kendrick Lamar?
What?
His cousin is really big, huge Black Hebrew Israelite.
Oh God.
Kendrick Lamar might be too.
Yeah, he might be.
He is really religious.
And he hasn't really ever come out and said it, but he alludes to it in something from 2018. I can't remember what it is, but if you Google it, it'll tell you. But if you go to Bert's channel, he did his thesis on Black Hebrew Israelites, and he talks about Kendrick Lamar in there.
Really? Jereb, Clouds by NF? Because yes, I've listened to Clouds by NF. I've listened to every NF song. Thoughts on Eminem? Here's my... This is the problem with Eminem, okay? I love Eminem's music. I grew up on Eminem's music. I still listen... no, I have not heard J. Cole's Clouds, no. My problem with him is, like... He wants to say the shitty thing, but then act like it's not shitty that he said it. Which I find very problematic. Because you can never pinpoint like anything at that point. Like his whole new album, like he says things about, he uses the FAG word, he picks on, or he says the R slur and all this stuff, but then at the end he's like acting like, but that's Slim Shady, that was my alter ego, that's not me, I have a son that was born a female, like I don't really, but no, you said a bunch of shit. And so like, I have a hard time with it, like I constantly,
well, don't worry, because that's not even the real Eminem. That's like the robot, like.
Yeah. After he went to rehab, the clone came.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Just like.
But there are iconic Eminem songs that I will still listen to.
46 who's your favorite polka artist?
Weird Al.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
Weird
you.
Al,
That's
for
the
sure.
only answer. Okay. Thank you.
The polka
Palooza? Come on.
The polka version of Bohemian Rhapsody is like.
Oh yeah, that is
God,
great.
yes.
One of the greatest things.
Oh yeah.
I used to like. That's how I know all the lyrics is from the polka like the Weird Al version.
It's true.
Yeah. I think Eminem as an artist, like, his abilities are phenomenal, but, like, he as a person, I think, is too stuck.
Okay, well, what about Weird Al's covers of Eminem songs? Like,
Oh, yeah. I like those. The Lose Yourself. That's a good
I
one.
can't even remember.
Couch Potato is what it's called.
Nice.
It's a good one. But listen, I like parody, so like of course I'm going to know all this stuff.
That makes sense.
Larry the Cable Guy, Cletus T. Judd. He was like the Weird Al of country music back then. Yeah, I grew up on all that stuff.
Joyful, I was gonna ask you, when did you start getting on TikTok? Like, who were you first following?
When I first started on TikTok, I followed I think the first person I actually followed was Godless Gardener. And then like I don't know, like Rachel Klinger was one of the first few I found. Skeptical Heretic, Deconstruction, like kind of that arena were the first people I started following. Thomas Bishop, he's not really a deconstruction so much as like a political like kind of voice. I don't know. There was a wide array before I found, like, I saw Justin around, I saw Chicago Atheist around, the original Sinfluencer, but they were all kind of in the smaller end of their TikTok presence. So I didn't really follow them, but they would come up because I'd like their videos and stuff. Yeah, I think the first person that I know today that I followed was Justin.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I think you told me that part. I was trying to figure out like who you like first ever watched.
Rachel Klinger.
It's interesting because like people. Oh, was she? She was live today?
Yeah, she was. I was in there for a little bit.
I don't bounce around as much anymore. How about you, Crystal? Who was the first person you...
You know what's really weird is I don't even remember why I ever got on TikTok. I have no idea why. I knew that like pretty much nobody in my family liked TikTok or went on TikTok or did anything with TikTok. But I was like, I don't know. Like I downloaded it one day and I do not know how I ended up on the deconstruction side of TikTok because I wasn't like putting that out there or anything. I was kind of still internalizing what I was going through, you know, like leaving the church, leaving my faith. I certainly hadn't shared it with anybody but my immediate family, like Doug and my kids and stuff. But I do remember that the first few people that I saw in the deconstruction community was Justin, Joyful, and Skits. And I kind of like saw those three and started following them because I had never heard like the anti-apologetics. I had never heard it before at all. And I was like, this is wild. And I think there was a big part of me that was like, oh my God, you were such an idiot for believing this shit for so long. And then I would just like reflect afterwards, like, how did I think all those animals got on that boat? What in the hell was I thinking? Like, what was I thinking? You know, and then they would bring something else up and I would be like, oh my God.
I would have an alarm. I was going to come out there and do it. Yep.
Another cat just attacked. Oh, here.
No.
Somebody's coming up.
Hey, I will be right back.
Okay. Hey, Jaron, he'll be right back. So let me do a commercial real quick, but thanks for coming up. Hey, you guys, we have still 34 people in here. We're at 54,000 likes. You got me to 50,000, but it it did take a little while there. We're shooting for 2 million, remember? So you got to start tapping that screen a little bit more. Also, thank you for all the gifts. I do have a gift goal of the coins. They're 5 coins each. 666 is the gift goal. So if you have coins, please send me some coins. And also, I have a subby goal of 51 subbies. I'd really like to get to 25 tonight. So I'll be back at what I was before TikTok shut down and made it so people couldn't subscribe. So if you haven't subscribed, you know what I'm going to say. It's less than a cup of coffee a month. You're subscribed to Disney Channel, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Plus, and the NFL Premium Channel, which sucks, by the way, because you can't even watch it on your big screen. So why don't you cancel some of those and then come over here and start supporting small creators like myself, like Jaron, like Joyful, and like Benny. Subscribe to our channels for less than a cup of coffee a month, and I will bring you more Decon Q&A with CrystalJae, and I will have all your favorite creators here where you can ask them questions live like we're doing tonight with Joyful. Hey, Jaron, go ahead. And hey, T7, good to see you. Hey, Earth, good to see you too. Watchman, Andrea, all the people in chat, thanks for coming. I really appreciate you. Go ahead, Jaron. What do you have for Joyful?
Well, I was content with just kind of hanging out there in the chat, but I believe that I was told that I was going to get, como se dice, cooked up here. So I wanted to come up and well, attempt to get cooked.
Okay. Did Joyful disappear? Didn't I see him come back? Como se dice? No. ¿Dónde está Joyful? ¿Dónde está mi amigo? Jenny Black over on YouTube. We're glad you're here tonight. But I don't know why your message got retracted. But thank you for joining me over on YouTube. Appreciate you. Joyful?
Sorry, there was some medicine confusion.
Okay, well, Jaron is here, and he would like to be cooked. So, could you please get to cooking?
I'm trying to read the shirt.
I actually happened to have it on earlier. It's a Switchfoot shirt. I was wearing it.
Are you?
I didn't even know that I was wearing it when I asked the question.
I'm gonna.
What is that song? We were never or something. I can't even remember how it goes.
We were meant to live.
Meant to live for
so much more.
That song.
Yeah. Close enough.
I can't.
I dare you to
It's
move.
been like 20 years.
Yep. The redo, the album before it actually had the original on it, which is what, for some reason, Sirius XM always plays. But anyways, so you mentioned that I was getting cooked, and I was interested in what you were cooking.
I was cooking you.
Oh, well, slap me down and sizzle me dry.
Oh, you'll have to go to my YouTube page. I have a whole video where I just show that your book's full of shit. Basically, stylometrics is something posers use.
Oh yeah, his pastor was talking about this.
So.
Oh, okay.
It's just that dumb AI. You know, when you program AI to say something, it's just gonna say it.
Yeah. You programmed
literally
it.
Everything that you're saying is boiling my blood, and I love it.
The fact of the matter is without the Holy Spirit, you can't understand stylometrics. So it just, the whole thing's just bunk.
Okay, well, listen here, Jeff. I feel like I have a pretty good argument.
Boot him!
You're a mod.
I feel like I just got cooked on my own Q&A.
Now, well, so serious question though. I know that generally speaking, your lives do not really deal with this specifically, but you know, how open are you to the concept of mythicism?
I am open to it. I don't care about it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. The flip is true for me, where I'm a mythicist, but I don't really give two shits if God exists, or that argument, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's kind of my whole thing is like, I'm never going to convince a Christian that Jesus just didn't exist. I would have to lead them through all of these steps first to get them to the point where I could get them there. So, like, to me, it's like moot altogether. But I do also, I think this is the difference, though. Like, I think you would be able to reach people that are more of an intellectual mind with the stuff that you talk about, with Jesus and mythicism and stuff. Some people, like the people that I talk to, are normally just like your run-of-the-mill, sitting in church every Sunday Christian. And I know you get them a lot too, but like more intellectual people are going to be more stumped by the things you can present.
I tend to think it's the other way around, where you're dealing with more philosophical questions, and I just shut them up and say, no, we're just dealing with physical evidence.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true, too.
Yeah,
so I guess it's just different perspectives, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, and to be fair, I think we generally get the same caliber of opposition.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, a different topic, obviously, but I was just curious, to see, what your thoughts are, on mythicism and whatnot.
Here's honest, like, since we're in here doing a Q&A, I will be 100% honest about my view on mythicism, and I will never say this in my own live, so this is probably the one time you'll hear it. I do not believe that the Jesus portrayed in the Bible did exist even as a person. I believe there were Jesuses at that time, and I believe there could have been Jesuses that were leading some sort of weird shit, religious cults. But you could never narrow a Jesus down that meets the criteria in the Bible to being a real human being. That's my personal thoughts on it.
You guys heard that
our
first.
position is very close. Go ahead, Crystal.
You heard that first right here. I'm going to clip it. And, so, I'm bringing you guys the juicy stuff right here.
This is the stuff you get when you subscribe to CrystalJae.
That's right.
I would assume
hard-hitting journalism.
Like, I would say that, like, in all actuality, yes, I'm a mythicist, because you can't ever point me. But it's the same reason I can say, like, it's hard for me on this side of Christianity to ever fathom believing in that God, because when you talk to each individual Christian, they worship a different God. It just has the same name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's a very, very good point. I would, to your point on mythicism, I would say that, my view is probably similar in the sense that the official stance of me and Matthew is that even the natural Jesus as presented by the New Testament didn't exist. So if you want to say there's a Jesus, okay, great. But he's not the Jesus that this is talking about, even in a natural sense, like you said. I tend to call that a Jesus in name only, or a gyno.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Not to be confused with Gina. Okay.
Yes. One of them is awesome, and one of them sucks.
Is it a jumbo gina, though? Because it's a gyno. I'm just asking the hard-hitting questions. Madam, let me say hi to Madam real quick. And Madam, can I get your age?
I just had that question.
You can stay up. You can stay up, Jared. Madam, can I get your... You might have more.
I have one thing to say to Jared, if I can, just really quick before he leaves. All right, so sometime hit me up. I'll have you co-host on my live, and we'll do a mythicist view. We'll have 2 prompts, and then people that want to talk about mythicism can talk to you, and people that want to talk about actual things that matter can talk to me.
All right. I'll just catch the scragglers. Yeah.
As like a
sounds good.
Mythicist, I don't appreciate that. I've been on this show way too much.
That's hilarious.
All right,
but for real, we need to do that sometime.
Hey, Mama Bash.
All right, thanks.
Mama Bash is in the house. Hey, Madam, thank you for waiting. You're so patient. I just need you to really quick tell me your age for TikTok purposes.
I am 42.
Okay, welcome. Did you have a question for Joyful tonight?
I don't know who it's for, but it's a question that's just been burning for a little while. When Christians, when you talk to Christians about slavery in the Bible and, you know, some of the things that were happening back in that time, and Christians will say, well, you know, that was just, you know, that was just a different time, and basically the guy had to acquiesce to what was going on during those times, right? And so slavery was going on, and so he just gave them the rules of slavery, right? But my question is, where was he? Like, where did he go where all of these things started happening and he wasn't there? And I guess, you know, in the way, you know, people feel that way now, right? Like, where is God at right now? Like, so where is he? Because at that time in the Bible, he was always around. He was always there. And he gave, you know, Moses the laws, right? And then those laws, like, so in between the time of Adam and Eve and then the Levitical laws, where did he go that all of these atrocities started happening? You know, and they started, you know, putting people in slavery and things like that. And he just wasn't around. So I guess my question to Christians, or my question, like, where did he go while all of these things, when humans started to act this way and do these things, when in the Bible, he's there the whole time?
Well, right. And I mean, according to Christians, he's omnipresent and, you know, omni everything, what all the omnis. And so according to them, he has to be everywhere all at the same time and be able to do everything. So it doesn't make sense. But Joyful, I'm sorry, you go ahead.
I guess what I was going to say is it is a weird phenomena that happens in Genesis. Like, so you have God with them in the garden, of course, and then he kicks them out of the garden, and you have God kind of talking with, or like showing favor on Abel but not Cain. So there's some sort of presence of God there. And then we get like to this point where everybody's wicked after that. Basically, like right after that, we get right into everybody being wicked. And I think that's a valid question. Where did God go between the time of Cain getting cast away for unaliving his brother and Noah's Ark? Like, it seems like there's a gap in God there. And then you have Noah's Ark. And after Noah's Ark, you have a whole new timeline of evil again in the world and God having to save the day. So there's all of these gaps in times where God's saving the day and then all hell is breaking loose. Like, just over and over again in Genesis, into Exodus. So I do think that that's a very intriguing question, but I think, like, from a Christian worldview, what they're going to say is God would get so distraught with the way humanity was going that he would do something crazy supernatural to try to bring humans back to him, because that was the whole point of creation, was having people love them that loved him free with their own choice. That would be like the Christian apologetic to it. But the issue is God had the power the whole time to intervene, because he does intervene in these like very harsh, miraculous ways. It's just like split up. So he always had the power to intervene on this evil, but he never does until it comes to a point where he ends up kind of being the villain. Like, he let it happen, then he unalives everybody. He lets it happen, then he burns down whole cities. He lets it happen, like, yeah, it's just like a weird phenomena in Genesis that I don't think there's a good explanation for, other than it was in some way, and this would be again a quasi-Christian perspective. In some way, it was to prove a point later.
Oh, like greater good kind of thing.
Yeah, greater good.
I've thought about that too a lot. Like, and what I would say, like, whenever I hear like, oh, well, that was just like the way of the times back then, that just means that like God had to be bound within the, like societal norms of the time, which I guess like free will, I guess could maybe skirt around that, but still, it's like, God could have just said, don't have slaves.
Yeah, but that was kind of what I was alluding to, is like God let these atrocities keep happening.
Right.
And then he would come in and try to fix it with like giving laws. So kind of the apologetic for the slavery law would be like he like kept trying to destroy the world before to make it better, and it never was getting better. So now he's like, I've got to work with these people and try to get them to live better through laws. That would be like the Christian apologetic to it, is that was just his way now of dealing with it rather than destroying people.
I get that, I guess, and I guess just to put it into perspective of today, I mean, imagine God coming down today, and let's say like what's going on in the Congo with the cobalt mines.
Oh my God, right.
And, and he comes down and he says, okay, these are the new laws. Yeah, you can make them, still dig those mines in for free, and you can, unalive them if they don't, dig as much, cobalt as you want them to. Oh, but make sure they get a good night's rest. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right.
Like, the idea makes no sense, but then at the same time, you're omnipresent, so you see it going on right now, and you could just come and stop it. I mean, you parted the Red Sea. I'm sure you can part the cobalt mines, but you sit and watch it, and then when you say, okay, I see this is going on, and you can still do it, but just do it this way. I mean, that really bothers me, and it's like, like I said, throughout the whole Bible, it seems like he's there all the time, but he just comes back around and just give these random laws after you've seen how humans handled atrocities, and like 2,000 years later, you still don't get it. I don't know, but thank you all so much for that. That was the only question that I have.
Madam, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you coming up.
Hey,
I appreciate.
Actually, guys, I'm getting a little sleep.
Okay, Benny, thank you.
Right. Bye, guys.
You guys, W for Benny and Madam in the chat, you guys. Amy, you're here with us tonight. What do you have?
Amy's probably going to be the last one that I can speak to, and then I'm going to have to go take care of Chitlin stuff, so.
No problem. I appreciate all the time you've been up here tonight, Joyful.
I feel like this is like just like me word vomiting, but as you may know, I am consistently working on learning myself out of faith, and I did a word study on 1 Timothy 2:8-15 is that atrocious verse about like, oh, women will be saved through childbirth if they remain sober and blah blah. And so I looked at the word saved, and I do not speak Greek, so I'm going to butcher this, but I can spell it. SOTHESETAI. That is the word that is used when it says saved. And that word is found in like 16 other verses, specifically using the same verb tense, like it's a verb, it's future tense, it's indicative, it's passive, third person, and singular. So it is actually the same word in the same context. And in all but one of these verses, it is referring to what Christians call salvation. Are you following me so far?
Yes.
Yep, keep going.
So when people talk about all of Scripture being God-breathed, which comes from 2 Timothy, and like, first question is, well, what Scripture were they referring to? And that it contains no errors, and it cannot make an error. This is the number one point I would like to bring up with those people, because this does actually say that women will receive salvation through childbirth, which is fucking flicking bananas. I don't know if I can curse here, so
You can curse.
Oh, you're fine.
It's fucking bananas. It's just another one of those things. Like the wall is being chipped away.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any sense at all. I just kind of wanted to like get that off my chest. I think I just needed to say it to somebody.
It's a disturbing verse because, like, it just is another verse that makes me feel that this God just does not give a shit about women. So every woman who passes away before she's had a chance to have a child, nothing. She doesn't get saved unless she does. Like, does that mean like she can't even ask for salvation? You know, because she not do it the way men can? Women who can't have babies, or women who choose not to. Like, what are we saying to these women with that verse? It's disturbing, and it just is another verse that makes me feel like this God does not care about women.
For me, it just makes the Bible further garbage.
Yeah.
Or I can be a little bit kinder, and I can say that this is a archaic and just old. It's an old text that talks about how people perceive life and the entity that made life in their perspective. Because another interesting piece of information that I found when I was cramming my head full of useless knowledge was that apparently, we all know Paul didn't write the Timothy's, right? Whoever wrote Timothy, he was writing to Timothy in Ephesus. And Ephesus was the Mecca for the worship of the god Artemis, or also known as Diana or Hecate. And Artemis was the goddess of childbirth, fertility, protection of animals, and basically like femininity. And I'm like, okay, so were they just trying to connect with people who were used to worshiping fertility? And like, all of this is just a bunch of hot bullshit? Yeah.
Yeah, manipulative.
Yes. Well, yes.
The answer to that question, Amy, is yes.
I thought so, Rabbi. I thought so. Like, that
'Cause
was
if we think
so.
about
My
the
first
time-
conclusion was. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm listening.
So if we think about the time within the context that the New Testament was written, we are looking at the early Hellenistic period. During the early Hellenistic period, polytheistic religions were still very prevalent. And there's an overlap here also with the Gnostics, who were also, they had a pantheon.
Yes.
So part of the reasoning is if we can entice you away from those gods with our God, then we can convert you to worship the way we want you to. But in the culture of the time, polytheistic religion was, like I mentioned, prevalent. So you want to entice women over and you want to make them feel like they're equal in the culture. You say, hey, by the way, God loves you, and you may not be able to do this, but through childbirth, like Artemis, like fertility, you are showing that you too are godlike because you participate actively in creation.
Wow. Every time I talk to the rabbi about the Bible, I'm just like, I'm gonna go cry in a corner now.
I never want you to cry in a corner. I'm so sorry.
No, it's a good thing. It's like peeling away layers of gunk. But the other part of this passage that just blows my mind is that it says that it was Eve who was deceived, but in Romans 5:12, it says that the first man brought sin into the world. And I just want to know, like, what's worse, being deceived or being blatantly disobedient? So why are women blamed for sin?
Are you asking in general, or
I mean, in general, yeah. I know it's not a question that can be answered. Just like,
why were women blamed for original sin?
Yeah.
Because of the social hierarchy?
Yes.
There's no other. I apologize, Joyful.
Oh no, you're fine. It's just like the whole like thing about women being the weaker vessel and like this constant rhetoric that is clearly just like the perception of the time in that culture, that like today we can look and be like, that's not true. You could, like, if you're talking about just like weaker in strength or whatever, I mean, there could be a biological argument for something like that, but that's not what the scripture is talking about when you read it in context with everything else. It's literally talking about them not being having the same capacity as men. And it goes on, like, and then we have the passages about them being silent because Eve was deceived. And all of these, like, this rhetoric that is clearly cultural. Why would a God be giving, like, life lessons to people in if this is God-inspired New Testament? Why is this church in this new covenant built on something that is so heavily part of a culture?
Because it was written by people that were part of that culture.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. Oh, Rabbi, did you come up to ask?
Why you'll find...
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's the same reason why you'll find Catholic churches that were built on top of holy pagan sites.
Yep. Did you come up to ask Joyful a question or just help us with scripture tonight?
Oh, no. I did have a question for Joyful. Because I've never heard him talk about this, and of course, if this is too personal, you can tell me to bugger off, and I will. So my question is, I only met you a few months ago through getting it, it's probably longer now, but because I interact a lot with the deconstruction community and the interfaith dialogues.
Yep.
What was the breaking point for you to make you say, I am no longer capable of doing this, and I now am going to read it differently and try to understand it differently? Like, what was the moment that you went, no, this is some bullshit?
I love this question.
The biggest breakthrough for me was my wife asked me what morality in the Bible, because I kept telling her that she had no morality, just like I get told all the time, like, you can't have a basis of morality without God. God is objective morality. And she asked me the simple question of, after months of her asking me questions and going back to scripture and not being able to give a suffice answer, she asked me, like, where is this morality that you're talking about in the Bible that is not something I can come up with something even better in my own life to be more beneficial to people? And there just isn't one. I could do all the studying in the world, and it was that question that rung in my head, because I already knew the answer, because I was very much already have read the Bible, have studied it, and it was just, that was the absolute breaking point. Like, this morality I think that I need to get from the Bible isn't even in the Bible. So where is this morality really? It's inside of you. It's empathy. It's what you've learned through real experience. It isn't some Holy Spirit telling you to do these things.
No, Joyful, it's in the context. You have to read the scripture in the context.
The answer's in the context.
No, in the context for sure. And that, like, it's crazy. Like, it was just like a flash of light, that quick, that it was all of a sudden like, oh my fucking God, this isn't real. Like, this just isn't real. And I know that it was like weighing on me, and there were a bunch of things weighing on me, but never did I think I was going to get to the point where it was like, this just isn't real.
I absolutely, I can't imagine the disorienting and difficult position that must have been and kind of throw you off balance when you have that sort of like revelation for yourself. So how did you handle those first, I don't know if it was months for you, weeks for you, in trying to undo and start to unpack what you had been taught?
A lot of destructive decisions, depression, and a lot of bad came first. Like, all of the things that I had hid away in this religion, like God is someday going to make this okay, so I just don't even need to bother with it. All of those things all of a sudden were an issue because God wasn't going to just take it away. God wasn't just going to fix it. There wasn't somebody I could go and pray and cry my eyes out to that I thought might fix it. So all of my traumas and everything that I had been like just burying deep in the name of Jesus came back. It was all there, and it was raw, and the feeling of just being evil, because that's what I was always taught, that I'm inherently evil, was there. It's just like I felt hopeless, and I felt like things just didn't matter. And this went on for a while, and I made a lot of poor choices. It's something like all of these things are still ongoing, like these thoughts that I just described, but it's taking it and putting it into perspective, going to therapy, doing all of these things rather than just hiding it away and acting like it's just going to go away someday. But yeah, the initial was a hot mess for me, and I had no support.
Well, I find that very interesting. Just coming from, like, obviously I come from a completely different religious base and understanding, where us arguing about God is, part of the norm. But how did that affect your family? I mean, I absolutely understand. I mentioned before that sometimes when we are experiencing a great deal of pain and loss, because you were grieving, from what I hear, you were going through the grief process. How did your wife and your family take to this? Like, what was your wife's reaction to you breaking this down?
I would say bittersweet, because in the long run, we are very unified in a lot of the ideals we have. Short term, because, I did just kind of go haywire, and, to be completely honest, I was just a shithead, and, did a lot of things that were damaging to mine and my wife's relationship. And so there was a lot of that, initially, that I'm sure my wife was still glad that I was leaving Christianity, but the outfall of my mental health decline did not... It's kind of hard to say, you know what I mean? Because there was a lot of outfall from it that impacted her in a negative way. But it wasn't... It's kind of hard to explain.
No, I absolutely get it. And I have one last question for you. Do you feel that there is a place where you arrive in deconstructing? Do you think that there is an end of the line, a finish line, where you say, I am now fully deconstructed? Or do you think that it is a lifelong thing that you will continually go through and help others go through, not as a means to an end, but just a way, like for me, Judaism and the way that I approach Judaism is not, there's not a finish line. I'm always learning something new about myself. I'm always learning something new about the text. I'm always learning something new about how I interact with someone. So do you feel like there is an end point in this process for you, or do you still, or have you reached it in your opinion, or are you still going through it?
It's no, I think that there's never an end point. I think that deconstruction of, for me personally, I think that I finally am very comfortable saying I don't believe it. I think I'm very comfortable, and so in those aspects, yes, I've like made it. But like all of the offall of it, all the self-hate, that the idea of being inherently worthless, and the only thing that brings you worth to God is that Jesus covers you and makes you spotless. All of these negative things that I was indoctrinated with and made to feel ashamed of. Even like finding men attractive, like I've deconstructed that to a big facet, but it still makes me uncomfortable when I find certain men attractive. It, like, these kind of things I don't know ever go away. So in that facet, I would say it's a lifelong journey of growing and getting better, but I don't know that those things will ever completely leave, like the self-deprecation and things like that.
We'll try. This is awesome. Thank you so much for allowing me to kind of probe your journey. And I want to say I notice when you speak that you are like true to yourself, and I'm proud of you in that way, because not everyone can be able to look themselves in the mirror and say, I have stumbled through this process and I'm continually trying to get better or find myself better. And I from what I hear from straight women, if they had a choice, they wouldn't be attracted to men either. So I think you're in good company there. But it's always been an honor listening to you, and thank you for letting me share part of that.
Well, Rabbi, I appreciate you. You always bring a lot to my live streams when you come up, and I do appreciate you very much.
Rabbi,
I love you.
We love you. Rabbi, I will be getting in touch with you to hopefully come join the Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. But I have surgery next week, so it'll be sometime after surgery that I'll be DMing you. Hopefully you'll join me one night.
I am always willing to talk to you, Crystal. You can Discord me, and I'm happy to set up a time whenever you'd like.
Awesome. Well, you guys,
I'm going to jump down. I'll be in the comments.
We're going to actually wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up right here. Joyful has to get going. He has a child who has had a tonsillectomy and needs to go take care of them. But don't worry, Joyful will be joining me again in about every other month, because I have a lot of creators to get to. And Joyful and I will be live Thursday night, right, Joyful?
Yep. Amy, did you have one more question, you said?
If you have time. I don't want to keep you.
Yeah, we can do one last question. That would be fine.
I don't remember if you have, like, if you ascribe to a label like agnostic or anti-theist or where you are. But I mean, do you want to answer that first?
Yeah, I'm definitely not an anti-theist.
Okay.
I would say that I would be closest to atheist.
Okay. So my question is, do you find like not corporate faith, but like an individual religious practice, an individual like faith practice, do you find any redeeming portion of that, like what it brings to society, or like do you feel that it is all harmful?
I think, I guess this would, it's kind of hard to say.
I know.
So do I think that personal religions can bring benefit to the individual's life? Definitely. I see, like, we see that. That's why, like, AAs and things like that use a personal higher power, just a generic higher power in somebody's life to help them overcome. So So we definitely see benefits that can come from having higher powers and personal religion.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see personally how, like, I personally feel at this point in my journey and my understanding that religions, especially ones that come with things like books, lead you to conclusions that are harmful.
Yep. I do not disagree. Yeah. I'm so tired of sitting on this fence. I'm hoping one day I tip one way or the other, but I'm so closer to atheism than Christianity, but I appreciate you offering that from your perspective. And I know you talk to people all the time, and I listen, and when you talk to people, the conclusion that I come to is that, what do you all call it? It's like an acronym, but you say it in a word. Like, I'm not a Christian.
Sadakmak
Yeah. Yes. Sadakmak Biftaj.
Sadakmak Biftaj. So I don't actually consider myself a Christian, but I follow the teachings of Jesus.
Right. And those people are the same ones who will sit there and bold-faced tell you that Christianity has not done harm. But they refuse to identify with it. It's maddening. So, and when I listen to the people that you talk to, I don't see any redeeming factors in their faith practice. They become arrogant and ugly and prideful and egotistical and certain of things that they cannot see. And it is beyond frustrating. But thank you for answering that.
Well, I think one of the sad things that Christianity does for a lot of people, and not everybody, it dehumanizes people. It makes you feel like their value is their relationship to God, and not their value is your relationship to them.
Oh, like those people that say that they would unalive their
children, their neighbor's children, their wife, whoever, if God told them to.
Yeah, that. Anyway.
But,
so,
Amy, I do appreciate you. I always have. And, yeah.
Crystal, thank you for having me. I will drop down for the algorithm. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you
I hope
so
your
much.
baby gets better soon.
Oh, he's getting better by the minute. Crystal, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you so much. You know that I think the world of you. And as long as I am on this app, you are on it with me. So
Joyful, thank you for being my second guest.
That was bullshit. That was bullshit. But we'll get past this someday. It's fine.
Thank you so much for being here. You guys, make sure if you aren't following Joyful for some reason, which would be odd, make sure you're following Joyful. But more importantly, if you don't mind, if you aren't subscribed to his YouTube channel, that link is in his bio. Please head over, subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's really important. It really helps people who want to monetize on YouTube, who are putting out content. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you Thursday night. If there's somebody to raid, you guys let me know in chat so we can raid them. Joyful, you can leave if you have to. I'm just going to say my goodbyes here.
See you guys. Goodbye and love y'all. Have a great night.
Love you too, Joyful. Thank you. I'll see you Thursday night. Also, thank you so much for the gifts, the shares, the likes, the follows, all of the good things. I really appreciate you. Again, you can win this amazing mug right here. All you have to do, this says POSFF, so you don't actually consider yourself a Christian, but you are a piece of shit fuckface. If you like the POSFF mug, all you have to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is in my bio. And then head on over to the Deconstruction Junction Discord. Put your handle in my channel so that I can see that you've done it. If you already are subscribed to my YouTube, go put your handle in my channel so you could be entered. And once I reach 500 followers, I'll be giving this to one lucky winner. I cannot ship to anybody out of the States. I'm sorry, I can't do it. So if you are not in the United States, I can't ship to you. But maybe I can get you guys like I don't even think our merch store ships out of state out of the United States right now. But anyway, I will be live Thursday night with Joyful for our usual debates, and that is at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then Friday, I'm going to be live right here again on Decon Q&A with CrystalJae, and Cyber Deconstruction will be my special guest. So if you have questions for Cyber about Christianity, Judaism, or Mormonism, or maybe you just want to talk to him about his hat, his pet Rocky that is a part of the Trinity now, come on and join us on Friday night, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, right here on my channel. Thank you all for being here. Cyber is on right now? Okay, let's all go rate Cyber and say, when you guys go in there, just say something like, let's say, tell him his hat doesn't fit right, okay? Don't say Crystal Ray. Just go in there and say, dude, your hat does not fit right. Even if he's not wearing it right now, just say it anyway, okay? Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all, and I will see you around the mean streets of TikTok.